How y'all doing? How you doing? Hello, Regina. New theme song. Hey, Duke and chat. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Another week's passed. Hopefully it's been as stress-free week as possible. I know for some of us it can't be. You got the World Cup going on now. You got all these people come in all these major cities and stuff. They rolling out a lot of these games. I don't know if y'all enjoy watching soccer. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm like a moderate, casual, bystander of the sport. Don't really get into it that much. But how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. You got some topics to get into. Not a long laundry list of stories. There's really two big major stories that we're going to tie into a lot of other things going on in the country. Obviously, we had the story with Carmelo Anthony and the guilty verdict with 35 years. And then we have the, Rick Chow case down in South Carolina. And some other stuff that happened. People setting crosses on fire in people's yards. Earlier this year during the protest for the ICE protest. Y'all remember that? I feel like last year, don't it? Time moving kind of quick. I feel like that happened last year. But earlier this year when they still cared about the ICE protest before the Epstein files came out, and they cared about that for 2 weeks, and then they moved on from that too. But during those ICE protests, we kept seeing these headlines and these stories and these videos being made of them constantly trying to convince Black Americans that they should care about this, and this is something that they should care about. They should be in the streets and yada yada yada. And we kept saying, oh, not we as in just me, but other people with their own platforms, big and small, were saying the same thing, which is, man, why does everybody keep trying to bait us to be a part of this? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with us. Leave us alone. Yada yada yada. And now I see what's going on in especially last 2 months. When you have the Chud the Builder situation where he just going around antagonizing Black people, and you got all this. You can't even get on social media at this point without bots constantly going at you. We see with these two cases and the fallout that came from it, and the discussions being had by other people and what they're saying. It's like it just seems like there's like an extreme sense of people are trying to really rage bait Black Americans, and it's going to tie directly to this Carmelo Anthony case where, man, it's like everything being done is to antagonize you, to troll you, it's weird. Regina says the rapid speed of time currently is bizarre. Hey, if you're a follower of the good book, as they call it, it tells you that in the last days, time will be sped up to get through this thing quicker, to get us to the end faster. But that's neither here nor there. But it just seems like there's this real attempt to rage bait, to force a crash out from Black Americans. Like somebody is really trying to make something pop off, and I'm going to tie directly to this story that's been a big story the last week, which is the conviction and the sentencing of Carmelo Anthony. You see here, Carmelo Anthony found guilty of murder and fatal stabbing of Frisco student Austin Metcalf. Oh, I talked about this in a short hour release, although bring up the DA judge. All right, we should be back now. Thank you for that, Regina. All right, all right, I don't know when this crashed, what part y'all didn't hear, but I'm gonna go ahead and start here then. Yeah. I want to show this clip by Jemele Hill on this Carmelo Anthony case before I get into all the new rumor and information being put out there because of the gag order being released on the families and people involved. I'm gonna play this clip right quick. Let me show this.
Let this be a lesson to us, especially to teach our young Black boys, because we have definitely seen this in our community where the slightest of things has touched off something that can't be reversed.
Virginia said you're back. You were saying race baiting hard. Oh, okay, yeah. I was saying there's an attempt rage baiting. It seemed like so many stories, and especially online with all the bots that exist, you can't say anything in regard to these type of cases or anything really about Black people without seeing a whole bunch of attempted rage baiting from Chud the Builder and these two cases and how certain communities are speaking about it. It feels like there is an attempt to get people to crash out. And it reminded me of that song by Vince Staples, Little Homie. Like, life is hard, but I go harder. Little Homie, just don't crash out. But this video by Jemele Hill, let me play it now.
Let this be a lesson to us, especially to teach our young Black boys, because we have definitely seen this in our community where the slightest of things has touched off something that can't be reversed. So we need to be having conversation with our young Black boys about emotional regulation and decision-making and discernment and wisdom. And those are not easy conversations to have in a world that sees them the way that they do, but we have to have them to save them, to preserve them. We have to have them.
So Jemele Hill, and in the conversation about Carmelo Anthony, decided to share her opinion on it, and she made the comments that we need to teach our young boys self-control and emotional regulation, basically impulse control. And some people took this as her, pathologizing Black young boys again, as everybody do. Like there's this a criminal element that is innate to young Black boys. So I saw people see this and saw it as wow, she's actually blaming our community for his actions. This sounds like Jason Whitlock. This sounds like all the right wing, the people that she would normally come out against. This is exactly what they say. Single mother households. This is what's creating these emotional young boys who are going out and committing these crimes and yada, yada, yada. Which, once again, the reason why those talking points are popular is because they're not completely false. They're not the complete truth, which makes them something that people can use as talking point to build audiences and to get people to listen. So on one hand, I could see people looking at that and, here we go with the, pathologizing young Black boys as some people that need to be pretty much re-socialized to survive in this country. But I also see the other side of it. Well, there might be three sides. The other side of it is this is the same way we saw a lot of Black mothers have spoken historically when it comes to young Black boys, which is as long as he's not in the streets. Remember that story from a few years ago when there was a protest going on. It might have been a George Floyd or some other protest going on, where there was a young Black boy who was out in the streets during the protest, and his mother walked up to him and began to admonish him. She began to, discipline him to get out of the streets, get your tail home, yada, 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 embarrass him. And there was a lot of people who were saying how this is the emasculation of the young Black boy who has any revolutionary spirit. And she did that. She neutered him, not because she necessarily, it was nefarious, or she didn't want him to show any masculinity. She did it because she wanted to save him from dying. So this is why you see a lot of people have the belief that the reason why we don't have any more Fred Hamptons is because very early in life, their mother gets it out of them in order to stop them from being a threat to the system, so they won't be somebody that's targeted and be killed. So it's one of those things where it's unfortunate things that happen, but you understand why it happens, right? Craig says, wasn't she the same woman a few years ago that said Black people were culturally arrogant on behalf of tiny hats? Yeah, she did. Shout out to Craig. Craig said, I remember that protest. Yeah. So Jemele saying this, I could see the Black male, what's it called? Black male studies people seeing this and wanting to make sure this type of thinking isn't too pervasive throughout our culture. We understand that certain rhetoric is dangerous because it can be tied back to certain historical beliefs and can paint young Black boys as just naturally violent. But I'll say this. It reminds me of a quote I got from Chronicles of Judah when he was talking about the Black man's place in America. This is not your kingdom. This is not your rest, right? The same way when you're driving and you get pulled over by a police officer and you know he's an asshole, he's purposely antagonizing you because he's trying to get something out of you. He's having a bad day, or he's just some racist bigot, so he's just messing with you. And you learn to swallow your ego. Yes, you're right. Yes, you did nothing wrong, but you want to get home. So you say, yes, sir. You give him the information, your license, registration. You tell him to give you whatever your infraction you did, give you your ticket, and you move on. Like you just get out of the situation to get home. That's pretty much what she's saying about Carmelo Anthony. Yes, it was rain. It was drizzling, and you didn't want to be in the rain. You were in the dugout. The coach said get out of the dugout, and you listened to authority, and you left. You went to the tent because, according to other people, your friend called you over. Then you get some random white boy telling you to get up and leave. You're not wrong. You were not wrong, Carmelo. You're not wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You're minding your business. You're an honor roll student with a 3.7 GPA. You're voted by your team as a captain of the team. You're clearly somebody who has leadership qualities. You do have the good decision making. You did not come from a broken home. You do not have a criminal history. You do not have a history of being suspended from your school or nothing. But in this country, you have to learn that you can't win these battles. Because as people always say, the devil would trick you out of your position. He'll show up and lay a trap. And that's all this system is, a trap to land you in that penitentiary, or it's 6 feet deep. You have to be like Floyd Mayweather, not Floyd Mayweather out of the ring, with the money problems he allegedly having and he's kissing up to these Jews or whatever. But in the ring, you have to be defensive. It's unfortunate. As a black man in America, you can't play offense that often. You gotta make a lot of money. You gotta make other people a lot of money before you're allowed to be offensive in this country. You gotta play defense. You gotta be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself at all times, black man. And sometimes protecting yourself is leaving. Sometimes protecting yourself is willing to just let the other person who's wrong win that day. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Virginia says, yes, that was Black Lives Matter protest, and was it in Baltimore? Yeah, it was in Baltimore. And then the mother came out and spoke with the son, I think, and she tried to clear it up and say, I love my son. Well, we know why you did it, ma'am, but at the time, it did kind of show a thing that exists in the black community. Virginia said, America is obsessed with upholding the bully that wants to vilify the rabbit once it gets the gun. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Exactly. So yeah, Jemele Hill, she got a little bit of flack for saying this, but I know why she said it from her perspective, and I believe this is a situation where it's unfortunate, but brothers, this is how you got to move. You're not allowed to be in this country completely what you would say independent, autonomous. You have to always be aware of your surroundings and who you're around. And it also shows you got to deal with these fake friends. We're going to get to that too. Let me go ahead and move forward. We're going to get to this black and brown coalition, these friendships people build up and hold to high regard. And then in a situation where stuff get tight, like Kendrick said on that song, when shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? When stuff get tight, are you still cool with me? Will you stand with me, or are you going to throw me under the bus fast as possible? I'm going to start with this. Let me ask y'all a question when it comes to this Carmelo Anthony case. When's the last time y'all seen a judge on a high-profile case do an interview? Like a post-game interview with somebody is called, like a sports game, like, oh, we just had the case come to an end. Let me give you the details of how it went. What judge have you seen speak on this? I feel like I've only seen this with certain political cases, maybe. I guess this became political. This became racial, obviously. But I don't remember too many judges getting interviewed a week after a verdict of a case. It's normally, OJ judge get interviewed 30 years later or something. But let me play you what the judge in this case had to say.
No, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of the witnesses come in all shapes and sizes and colors and all that. And so that was normal for me. What wasn't normal for me is to have those witnesses be intimidated by things being said on social media, because those young people rely on social media more than I certainly do. And so that sure impacted me to make sure that they did not change their testimony.
It is said that they absolutely changed their testimony. One of the things we're hearing from some of the family of Carmelo Anthony is that a lot of the students came in that day, got on the stand, and completely changed what they said happened. First, they said that a group of people walked up to him. Then they said it was only Austin. His brother wasn't even there with him. First, they said that he was chased. Then they said, no, he left and we all just went back under the tent and sat down while he was stabbed. Like they were trying to save him or something. And it turns out that ain't what you said initially. But yeah.
They were willing to come in and tell the truth without fear of being doxxed or swatted and stuff. And so I took every precaution that I could, consistent with the law, to make that happen.
I know Steve brought it up to you, and I know that both sides probably brought it up as well. The AI images.
But yeah, that's what I want to show from that. Then I want to get to this right here. Speaking of the judge, Dr. Candace Matthews exposed the Republican district attorney and judge in Collin County regarding the Carmelo Anthony case.
He held her tighter. These physical encounters were unwanted and sexual.
This is her saying that there was a alleged sexual harassment by, I believe, the judge that was reported.
He held her tighter. These physical encounters were unwanted and sexual in nature. Jane Doe 1 eventually put in for a position in the Victim Assistance Division and got it in December 2020.
So with a grain of salt, I just sift through certain things that's obviously fake, and I try to just look at other things with maybe certain things that have a certain believability to it. But yes, I did see people saying that the kids, I forgot how many kids it was, students it was, all of them kind of shifted most of their stories. Remember when Austin Metcalf's brother, right after the killing and was on the news, his initial reaction was very, like, obviously he was sad about what happened to his brother, but he was almost empathetic to Carmelo Anthony. Like, I wouldn't say he was defending him, but he was kind of like, it's a crazy situation. He never really showed extreme anger towards him. But then now Carmelo's just this killer who was just out to kill somebody. He was just looking for somebody to harm that day. It's, the father even came out, with the whole, it's not about race. And now we know that was a play. That was a play he was pulling in order to garner certain sympathies towards him and towards, obviously, his son, more sympathy towards them. I'm not going to say that's what happened with the kids, but it's it seems like either this case is the most easy cut and dry case if we see that video of what happened, or it was a lot of tomfoolery. Like, it's one of the two. Anyway.
Because you need to be in jail. You do not need to be a DA here. But see, this is what they don't tell you. That's why you got to research your people, who you're voting for. And I'm finna say this to the Republican Party. Republican Party, y'all need to write somebody else in. Because this man here is a sexual deviant. And he has no place being a DA here in Collin County.
She's doing the whole, whenever one of these stories become national news, people tend to go, especially when it's a black person, when a black male, female, child, adult end up in one of these stories that become political, the first thing they do is look up background, any criminal history, family relationships. They didn't do that really with Carmelo Anthony or Austin Metcalf for that matter. He comes from a broken home. His mother left his father and alleged that there was abuse. Like, he's been suspended from school and been accused of bullying. And I saw the report the letter that came out of allegedly one of the cheerleaders had wrote a letter, or at least somebody who represented cheerleaders wrote a letter exposing these brothers for being bullies, harassing the cheerleaders and calling them all type of names and threatening violence against them. And I read that and I said, I don't need this. I don't need any more information to know that these little dudes were trying to be bullies. They some 6'1", 225 football players who walked around like, I do what I want. They were bullies. The fact that they approached a stranger and told them to leave a tent told me, oh, these are just attempted bullies. They were trying to be bullies, and they ran to the right one that day. Virginia said the father has since come out and let black folks know how he really feels. Lord have mercy. Oh, I'm going to get to it. I'm definitely going to get to that. Sorry, I got a little sniffle. I don't want to be all in the mic doing that, but yeah. All right, first thing I'm going to show about the new stuff that's coming out. I'm going to play this clip here of a woman speaking on the video, what she describes to be what's happening in the video in the Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony situation. This is what she said she saw on video.
Advocate for Carmelo Anthony. My name is T. And when I went to see the video, they ask if you want to see it from either 2 minutes before the stabbing or 11 minutes before. So I chose 11 minutes. From the moment she pressed play, Carmelo Anthony was already sitting up underneath that canopy. And he was sitting there for at least 8 to 9.5 minutes. You see, well, I saw a boy in a black hoodie go over to him first, and then they left out of the tent, and then you see coming across the field was another 6 boys. When they got to the bleachers, one, he went out of frame, and the other one sat at the bottom. But the remaining 4, they went directly to Carmelo Anthony, and like T said before, it was a brief conversation, and then all you see is commotion. And we know from the interviews that Hunter did, we know that Hunter was, in fact, up underneath that tent. The next thing you see, you can see Carmelo in the midst of them assaulting him. You can see Carmelo trying to back out, but he gets pulled back forward. The next thing you see is Carmelo, he comes shooting out the back, but he's still not standing. And he had to like kind of crab crawl backwards, and he had to like jerk away from them because they still had a hold of his hoodie. He goes up a couple bleachers and he's looking around for which way to go. He runs diagonally down the bleachers and then he falls. At the time of him falling, that's when I noticed another 3 boys coming down the bleachers chasing after him. But once Carmelo got up, he took off. You didn't see him for the rest of the video. At no point in that video do you see Hunter holding his brother. At no point in that video do you see those boys ever going back to the tent and sitting down. That was all a lie. And I also have questions. I don't know how the defense did not play that video, because when you see that video, it was self-defense. Carmelo was only 5'8", 130-something pounds, and Austin and Hunter Metcalf were 6'1", 220-something pounds. So for people to say that he should have used his hands, people can die from fights, from people using their hands. And that's all I'm going to say for right
now. This is what's crazy to me. If this is truly the video and what happened, if this is true, I don't understand what the hell happened with this case then. This has to be the worst defense attorney I've ever seen in my life. If they didn't play this video, I'm sure the jury had to have seen this. There's no way. I have to believe either this woman is completely lying and this isn't real, or this is a complete negligence on everybody's part. Nothing she describes in this is anything but self-defense. This was not a dude asking somebody softly, gently 15 times to move, and then the other person threatening to do something to them, and then they gently touch them, and then they get stabbed. That ain't nothing she described. But yeah, like I said, we're going to see if anything comes of it. They put it in an appeal. I just don't know how this is true and this didn't go a completely different way. This just doesn't make sense. All right, I'm going to play a couple clips of the parents in an interview they did. Let me play this. This is the dad who explains from what he understands. And that right there, hey, man. Ooh, boy. Regina says it's rumored that the defense and the DA are buddies in the past, and this is the second lady today who shared a similar story about the video she watched. I've seen every clip I've seen of people who said they've seen the video or gave any type of explaining of what happened. They say the same thing happened. So what the hell happened? What up, Honorable? I'm just confused. None of this makes sense. But imagine you at a track event. It's drizzling. One of your homies call you over to the other team's tent. Keep in mind, the school that you are there for, they don't have a tent. They didn't bring the tent that day. So you trying to find somewhere to sit because they don't have a tent. You don't want to get the drizzle on. You don't get the rain on you. Your homie call you over. You go over there. This type of situation breaks out. This same friend of yours, who is the cousin of your girlfriend, yes, his girlfriend is Spanish, a Mexican. This same person that is your friend, the cousin of your girl, your friend gets on the stand and say, I don't really know him like that. I don't really know him like that. We was all right. They found pictures of them together at family events and stuff. All type of communication. He said, I don't know him like that. He said, I lied when I said I recorded the incident. I was faking recording it. I didn't record it. This is his friend. Got on the stand and set him up the creek for 35 years. This is, got to be careful. Be careful who you call a friend, because that was the devil. We could go into, these two bullies that tried to do something to Carmelo Anthony. But that Parra, that's his name, the little Mexican dude, that's the devil right there who set the trick. Eddie Parra. He's the one that set the trap for you to end up affecting your entire life. Crazy, man. Dude said, Lord have mercy. Said they chose silence for how long? Why are they doing interviews now? They were under a gag order, a strict gag order. They weren't allowed to speak at all publicly, do interviews, post online, nothing. They were not allowed to speak. Same for the other side of this, the family, friends, anybody connected to the store, connected to this, they were not allowed to speak. Virginia says, PSYOP, after all, hasn't Iran been goating chump by addressing black folk directly? Or is this just a PSYOP too? What to believe, what to be lie. Arnold says Spanish, do the full 35 years since you've been a goofy. Craig says Black and Brown Alliance fucking incredible. Bruh, when I saw this and I saw what he said on the stand, and then when they found out, no, you were friends with him. What are you talking about? So they did see the video in court. So what the hell is, bro, what happened? Bad counseling. They tricked you. And if it's true about him having any ties to the DA or whatever, y'all defense attorney, man, oh man. This is just, yeah, this is crazy. Let me show one more. I understand. They should get Rick Chow attorney to appeal since he's skilled in his profession. And that's crazy. Ain't he with an Asian woman too? So he found a way to build a coalition with the yellow people. So but yeah, this crazy. As they speak more, it just doesn't make sense. I can't make sense of it. Maybe we just don't have all the facts. Maybe we just missing something. I don't get how, if the video says what that woman says, which is what the parents are saying, if he has proof that these young kids is on the stand lying, committing perjury, I don't know. I don't know, man. But it is America, so they like the technology is real. This is the Eddie guy, the friend that said he ain't know him. I don't know him. It's just a dude I grew up with since a kid. He's dating my cousin, but I don't know him. Boy.
Eddie is the friend that called Carmelo Anthony over to the tent during the event. He's the same person that stood on trial under oath and said he ain't really know the man like that. Though they've been friends since childhood. Multiple pictures, videos, all of this information they got showing that you know this man, and under oath, you gonna say, oh, I don't know that man. Then Eddie gonna sit there and lie and say the only time we hung out is when he was with his girlfriend and I was hanging with him. So you was third with him? You
when he was with his girlfriend. Your cousin? But we saw what happened. I don't know if y'all kept up with that story. This is some internet story, but the streamer whose girlfriend, Dominican girlfriend, cheated on him with cousin. And then we found out, if you ain't paying attention to those people's culture, that amongst the Hispanics and the Spanish people of Mexico and all this stuff, that incest thing is very normal. As a matter of fact, it seems to be very normal amongst the Caribbean culture as a whole, West Indians, because they have a whole saying where they say cousin and cousin make good soup. So maybe he was jealous. Maybe he was acting like he was Carmelo's friend because he had a crush on his cousin and he mad about it. So he ain't really want to hang around you. It's just you dating my cousin. Alma says, I thought they claimed he got jumped. Nobody saw the fight. Bruh, I done seen so many different stories. I've seen that it was 3 people, 6 people. I've seen that he was alone. I've seen that they said Carmelo approached him. And that, like he just said, the girl said he approached him and asked him to race. Like, what? But yeah.
He was third with him? That don't sound right, Eddie. Oh, yeah. You ain't getting away with this one, Eddie. What I was always told was, at the end of the day, them folks gonna take care of them folks and they gonna always look out for their people. Ain't nobody gonna give a damn about your black ass but you. So you need to take care of your black ass. That's
always be on defense at all times.
What my mama always told me. And I was wondering why one demographic of people wasn't really saying anything about this. Because Eddie is Hispanic, if I'm not mistaken, right? But black folks, y'all see how folks will set you up? See how they set you up? You walk right on into the trap. He watched his childhood friend, he watched his man go down for 35 years.
35.
And that's supposed to be his homeboy. And lied in the oath and said, I don't know this man. Woo!
Hey, the game is cold, bruh. See, things reveal themselves, and for whatever reason, black people, we just don't understand it. I've seen, bruh, since the Rick Chow case, and I've seen all these reactions online. I've seen these Asians talking crazy. Obviously, the white people always been who they are, and they were just like, man. You got black people like, bruh, why everybody hate us? We ain't did nothing to nobody. Stop trying to understand it. There's nothing to understand. No, there is something to understand. That it don't matter. Move, now that you know, you should always know, but now that you just somehow became awoken to the truth, you became woke in a proper context, move correctly now. That's all it takes. I've seen so many people just in shock, just in disbelief, just wondering, just a belly aching. Why? Who cares? As I always say, this is ancient. They don't even know why. It's in a bloodline. They don't know why. This is something that goes back 1,000 plus 2,000 years. They don't even know why. It is what it is. Move accordingly. Be very careful. There's a difference between being cool with people and understand you got to compartmentalize. You got to have different levels of this. You can never call somebody like this a best friend. Not saying that Carmelo ever did that. I know he never did that. I don't know if he ever did that, but you can't call somebody like this a best friend. No, we just cool. We hang out sometime. Because when shit hit the fan, he going to say just that. I ain't really know him like that. He gonna say just that. I ain't really know him like that. Anima says, shocked by the response to this case. Honestly, I was disinterested. They put their child in an environment to be bullied. Yes, another thing people were talking about, the family moving themselves into a quote unquote white, I think it's a majority white and Asian neighborhood or district, should I say? For a quote unquote better life. And it's like, bro, you in Texas. There are plenty of suburban black neighborhoods in the South, especially in Texas. Why is your son surrounded by a bunch of Asian and whites? Like, what are we doing? But, you know, you gotta be careful. Virginia says, minding our own black business. Yeah, everyone is bothered. Original frequency is a mother. It's like the whole world, they just know order is not, the world is not in proper order. And you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing to regulate it. But you ain't supposed to do it until it's time. But I'm gonna leave that part alone. But all right, let me play a little bit of Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf. He decided to finally got that muzzle removed, and that dog started talking. Oh, he was barking he got on that live stream, and I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's a grieving father. No, I don't think it was a grieving father. I think it was a father who said exactly what he wanted to say. He attacked everyone involved, the parents. He spread more lies on them. I see so many people saying in the original fund for Carmelo Anthony that the family took the money and bought a house and a car. They did not do that. That was fake. By Go Send Go, I think it was Go Send Go it was on. They even said, no, they did not take any money. That's not true. They're accusing the family of being grifters when they don't need to grift. This wasn't no broke family. But anyway, let me play a little bit of this. His first comments, by the way, he talked about slavery.
Support somebody blindly, even though they did wrong. You're going to support someone who does something against the law. You're encouraging and saying it's okay because he's a certain color. Oh, you've got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more in privileges, more entitlement? Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass.
I'm so sick of these bigots constantly using this lie that the Civil War was about freeing slaves. People say this quote all the time, and for some reason people just ignore it. They let it be. Abraham Lincoln said, if I can keep the Union together without ending slavery, I would. It was financially crippling. They couldn't do it no more. It was time to move on from that way of making money. It was not about being good people. It was about finance. It was about the country itself. It was about the Union, the project that is America. It was not about saving nobody, helping nobody, being a good Samaritan, being a Christian. As he says he's a Christian, by the way. The dad, he's Christian. They just keep telling this lie though. Virginia says, I was thinking regarding Jeff Metcalf, do you watch Conscious Community video? He might be. Or during this trial, he probably been seeing a whole bunch of videos of those people getting on their ass and exposing a lot of the stuff to him.
And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I've been so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you.
Imagine the people fucking you over, harming you, and then when that stuff stops, they say, we did you a favor. See, this is why you call these people devils. This is why people say these people are the devil the Bible speaks of. They, once again, is ancient. They are just who they are. They are the natural deceivers of this planet. They do stuff to the world and are confused when people don't fuck with them. They don't understand it. They think it's all fair. Honorable says approximately $632,000 in donations, according to the platform executives. These funds were distributed over the last year to cover pre-trial legal fees and family relocation costs. They try to say that they use the money to relocate because of threats. These white people were threatening to kill them and stuff. They accused the mama of getting a BBL. They said that they bought a Cadillac, bulletproof Cadillac. They said they spent the money on all these expenses. And they came out and said, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Now, because obviously he's a convicted felon, they can't even set up another one, so they got to find a way to get help for the Craig says a lot of these aggression is what got his son wanting a ticket to eternity. That's what I'm saying. And I know it don't matter. Like I said, we know what it is. But we know for a If Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf, those brothers, were black, two 6 foot, 220-pound football players, and they approached a 5'9", 139-pound white Carmelo Anthony and told him to move, and they got into a scuffle, and that little white boy stabbed that big black bully, they'll be singing a totally different tune. I'm saying the exact same scenario happening. They'll be saying it's self-defense. Because, you know, naturally when you have darker skin, you're a threat anyway. You're violent already, so it is what it is. Honorable says the family has to flip the brother. Hey, man. They got, like I said, that initial interview with the Hunter Metcalf, his brother, the twin brother, he did not seem, something about it seemed like he knew we was on some fuck shit and it went left. It's like he was saying it with his body, his face. So if they could turn him, they should get him to tell the truth.
You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled.
Entitled. What is entitlement? Me sitting under a tent because it's drizzling, raining. I'm just chilling with my homie, or who I think is my homie, versus you thinking you can approach a stranger and tell them to move and they got to listen. I just saw a video recently of a black couple at like Disney World or something. And some random white man is just telling this black dude what he can't do. And he like, man, get out of my face. Leave me alone. What do you mean? I'm a grown-ass man. You can't just tell me I can't do something. What's wrong with you? These people really think you are still property of the state. Like, you have to listen to me. And if you don't listen, you have ego. If you don't listen to me, you're the problem. But you're the one with entitlement for minding your business. You can approach me and tell me to do something. I must listen, but that's not entitlement.
You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender.
That last one is the real power. Your ex-wife, you know, the one that left you and accused you of abuse, that one, he benefit from DEI more than Carmelo Anthony or his entire family or anybody that looked like him. And this is when I know he was just going, I'm not going to play this whole thing. It's 6 minutes long. This is when he just went on his whole racist rant. He brought up welfare. He brought up other things in the black community, criminalization. He went on racist rants. He referred to Carmelo Anthony as a, what do you call him? Watermelon felon. I'm going to give you something. You call me racist, I'm going to give you something racist. He brought up Charleston White, called him a crackhead and stuff. After Charleston White initially apologized to him. But Charleston White liked to do this like a face of WWE wrestling, a face and a heel. He liked to do this whole switching up thing where he say contradicting points left and right, and that's how he stay in the algorithm. So it is what it is. Let me play this here. This is a more concise clips of some of the racial moments he had in the entire live stream, which I think was 2-3 hours long interview, which really wasn't an interview. It was him ranting and a white woman giving him a question every so often.
Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or GoSendGo money. You are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child. And I swear to God, CPS for come check on those other 3 that you still have. You never once admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim. The real victim is the one who died, not the one who shoved a knife in his chest. I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what'd you do? You widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted, baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left when asked. I didn't stab anyone. And then you proceeded to gaslight me with your convicted felon, quote, advocate, minister? Minister of what? Minister irrelevant? Minister of How about Minister you?
Artemis says, I love how because people are white, they default to themselves as being the descendants of the people who enslaved blacks on this land. Sir, you are people from Castle Garden or Ellis Island. Yeah, that's another point. The fact that my family, it's like a 90+% chance that my family has been here a couple centuries longer than his is hilarious. This is the nerve. He raised two, not one, but two bullies. And there's rumor he beat his ass. They beat his ass too. Yeah, and it's funny because there was an interview that, what's that guy's name? There's a dude named Hotep Jesus. That's his name. I don't know if y'all know him or not. He's a commentator. He kind of weird. I guess he's like a Pan-African Hotep. He grifted the right wingers for a little while, made a little money, and then he kind of in some pro-black stuff too. It's weird. But Hotep Jesus did an interview with someone who apparently was around the Metcalf brothers. He know them or something. And he said he didn't like them. He said they were shit starters. He said, I wouldn't say they were bullies, but they were shit starters. It's like, well, we have multiple people that have commented on their character and said they're bullies. They're aggressive. And you call them shit starters. Like, where's the account? Like, I'm still not understanding. I've been beating this in my head every time I think about this case and try not to think about it much. How do you walk up to a stranger and tell them to move, and when they don't, you think you can make them? What? This is at a damn track event. This isn't private property. Just leave them alone. Go about your day. But anyway, Virginia says, typical white guy, gaslight, then I am the damn victim. Yeah, I'm white and I say so. That's pretty much what he said. Let me play with some of this. It's 7 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is some of what Charleston White had to say. Like I said, Charleston White initially apologized to the father, saying that, you're right. We did try to bridge this gap. We tried to make it not racial, but the blacks made it racial. Then you whites let it keep going. Then he said, but apparently Charleston White saw him use the word nigger and all that stuff. So he decided to go on a rant against him.
The porn industry didn't take your wife. You lost her, you fucking short, fat, pudgy, small, dick, angry man. This fucker died from a pencil poke. They come from a loving mother. Their mother did everything they can to distance themselves from that fucking man that we see on TV talking without his family. See the difference between this little short Fred Flintstone motherfucker? He's alone. Angry, no support system, but he got a new truck thanks to Austin Metcalf death. Got him a fucking new truck. But you know who don't see him around? He don't have a wife, he don't have a girlfriend, he don't have a brother, he don't even have a son that hugs him to show that someone's comforting him. You know how miserable he gotta be? He's worse than Carmelo. Because Carmelo is surrounded by a support system.
That's some truth right there, I can't lie. But Virginia said, I swear, Duke, you are the male version of my brain. I watch Hotep Jesus, and he is, as described, confusing. He a hustler. I ain't gonna call him a grifter, but it is kind of what he is. I remember the first time he went viral. He went viral for something. He called out black people for something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And he went on Fox News. He had been around for years, and he got an audience. But then he made a comment about black people and went super viral. And then all the Fox News invited him on. All the right wingers started praising him and all that stuff. He made a couple dollars off of them for a few years. And then I don't know if it was the Ahmaud Arbery case. One of those cases, he finally said, all right, I'm done grifting. Y'all racist. Yeah, y'all racist. I'm done with this. I'm done grifting. All right. Anonymous says, did they try to defend him, or were they being all respect to the unalive? More of the latter. He wasn't really defending them. It was more so, hey man, you lost a kid, to the family, respect to y'all, yeah. But then, he decided to spend the block on him.
I got a Muslim nigga that run the prison where he's at right now. Been down there 27 years. He's protected. It's gonna take a guard to kill him. Won't no inmate do it.
That's another thing. So many of these white people, once again, I don't know if these are just bots or actual people, Bro, I don't seen like 1,000. I don't seen so many posts of these white. I've posted stuff on this page, on this channel. On that short video I released, that 6-minute video, there's white people in the comment section calling me monkey, saying I'm a shit skin. They was bragging about how Carmelo Anthony's gonna be raped. I'm like, what the hell? That last comment, that's all over social media. Like, they've been like praying and begging that somebody rape Carmelo Anthony. I'm like, y'all don't know how prison work. That ain't, y'all look at movies too much. That ain't how that work. Yeah, but it also goes down with their constant obsession with black men and sexuality, that they would even think that way. Like, have y'all noticed an uptick in Caucasian men and constantly talking about black men with particularly Asian and white women? That cuck stuff, that's becoming way more mainstream, and it's not just some sexual fantasy stuff. It's starting to become like, it takes over their entire brain, where these people will see a beautiful woman and the first thing they think is, do she deal with black men? It's like, hey buddy, I don't know if you notice or not, but you need help. Like, you need to deal with that. It's not good.
I guarantee it. Metcalf, when I look at you, where's your wife, buddy? Who's wiping your tears? Who's jacking your dick? Who's washing your clothes while you so angry about the niggers? You lost your wife, not the BBC.
See, he even referenced it. Charleston White is saying that right now because what he just said, these white, I'm not just talking about some corny white dudes on the internet, even though they are corny and white, but my point is, these are like political commentators with hundreds of millions of followers that get on spaces and YouTube live streams and TikToks and keep talking about BBC white women. Bruh, I don't think, as Craig Crownson said, rape is their culture. That ain't the only thing that's their culture. There's an obsession with black people. It's not even just black men. I saw a comment where a white dude said the reason why black women have large butts, have big asses, is because black men's penis size, so they had to have bigger asses so that they can't get raped as easy. Like, that's extremely racist as hell, right? That's obvious. But then it's like, why are you even thinking about what are you doing? And this is supposed to be a white supremacist, white nationalist, or Christian nationalists as they call themselves. Like, why the hell are you speaking about it this way? What is wrong with you? Says, were those haircut photos of him real? What excuse did the family give for not showing up for the sentencing? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest on that. I don't know. I did say they said he shaved his head and sent him off. I don't know if it's true that the family didn't show up to the appeal. I saw people saying that, but I didn't. I feel like the more important part that I focused on is, are they going to release this video? And that's what I've been more like. All the other stuff is rumor and we don't know what's. Are they going to show the video so all this could be dispelled and we can move on? Or are they purposely not showing the video to keep the discussion going and make it bubble and bubble and bubble until something else happens? You know, this is the middle of World Cup season. So if something happens right now, as much as it'll be a bad move for America, it'll be the most political moment in history in a long time. I'll say that, not the history of the country. So I don't know. I'm gonna say there's enough black LGBT out here for them to exploit those fantasies. That's unfortunately true too. So yeah. But yeah, they speaking on criminality. I've been seeing that a lot of black people, the criminality of their community, and how whenever I see one of those people refer to black people as violent, I always just laugh. Like, history doesn't even say that. There's one group in the last 500-600 years that if you wanted to define the word violent, there's one group of people that would be next to them in the dictionary. It'd be one group. If you wanted to put violent, rape, a bestiality, all the other shit, it would be one group that would be next to the check of all these things. But Rena says, are these folks the Anthony's American blacks or immigrant blacks? It would help to understand better their choices to not to be or not to be. I looked at the father. I don't know. I haven't heard. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that have done some background to try to find something on them. I guess nobody haven't found anything, so I'm assuming more than likely they are Black American, but it hasn't been proven. Alma says the trial should have been televised. Nah, they don't really televise too many. I think the last case, big profile case they televised was wasn't it what's the actor name with the white girl? She accused him of abuse, and they had a big old trial. They had the trial and stuff. I think that was the last one that was the big one that was televised. Anyway, let me show this right quick. Let me run through some of these people committing this violence. Let me show some of this. Bibb County mother pleads guilty to horrific bunker sex abuse case, fears inmate attacks. On one hand, hopefully she get 100 years in the death penalty, all these people involved in this. But the other hand is, every time y'all commit crimes with these women, they always flip on y'all. Like, y'all sick ass dudes do all these crimes, and you do crimes with your women, and then they snitch on you, and y'all go down. And then they get a lighter sentence for snitching. They just as guilty, but they get a lighter sentence for exposing it. Virginia says, I didn't know that trials are held on 9 business days, like the weekend. Like I said, how fast that trial started, ended, I don't know. Especially with something that was considered so high profile, I don't know if I've seen a case just bam over. He favors Rosie O'Donnell. There's another one. Update: 8 people charged in sex ring underground bunker for paying adults to rape their children and pets ages 3 to 16. Trial delayed as mom pleads guilty and flips on the co-defendants. Let me play this video. It's the usual suspects. Not a surprise who it is. Even their aesthetics. It's the same people. And this is a crazy story that won't go as get talked about as much. This is obviously her. Look at all these. Look at this. Like, imagine hosting something for the abuse of children. And unfortunately, this audience that exists that they can profit from, we don't even know if it really was just for a profit. These people are just sick in the head. They won't see this as a culture problem that needs to be addressed. This is an individual crime that these people committed, arrest them and move on. But if some Negroes go and have a shootout, all of a sudden it's a culture problem that needs to be directed by the entire community. But, you know, it is what it is. Hold on. Anonymous said, as important as people claim two-parent households are important, quick tell us something the father said that was important. Well, the son was high grade point average, leader, voted as leader and captain of his football team, has no prior history of criminality at all. Like, I would say that household did pretty well raising him. He just got tricked out of his seat. He ran into a situation where he got people attempted to bully him. He defended himself, and it turned out to be a white person who ended up dying, so it went bad for him. But before that, life was going pretty good for him. Craig said, like I said, it's just part of their culture. All right, let's move on. Hold on. Here's another crazy story. I'm not going to go into this deep. It was just, the headline was just crazy. And you just realize it's the American system. This it's a crazy headline. Man sentenced to 45 years after stealing hundreds of Lego sets across North Texas and Oklahoma. When I saw this headline, like everybody else probably, you go, how the hell you get 45 years for stealing Legos? Like, what are we doing? How the hell what the hell were you doing? Well, they said they need to give you 45 years for this. Now, it turns out he was stealing what is it at? Let me go to it. Because the headline kind of just meant to grab you, obviously. He was stealing a dozen coffee makers, several vacuum cleaners, and multiple PlayStation controllers, totaling more than $30,000. So he stole $30,000 worth of goods from stores and got 45 years. I try to look up and see, did he have any formal criminal history? I'm trying to see if there's some type of law where if you commit crime across state line multiple times, that's when it accrues more time or something. But that was just a crazy headline. 45 years for Lego is crazy. Alma says, it's our own fault that every issue is deemed a cultural problem. Our own people sit in those people's faces, being symbols and pushing that narrative. That's true. That's where people go in the identity politics. That's where people go in on that sometimes because it can be detrimental. There's nothing wrong with having standards for your community, but when you start and go into this thing where you want to make sure you look good to other people, but rather than doing what works for your people, that's when you go into the Sambo Coon category. All right, next up. Shout out to the family. Condolences to whatever happened. Hopefully we get see the truth and the appeal goes through for him. God bless him. South Carolina jury finds store owner not guilty of murder and killing a black teen. This case obviously happened. What was that, 2 weeks ago? I didn't go live, but I saw that. I think I uploaded like 2 videos on this. I wasn't surprised. I did see there were 5 black people on the jury. His lawyer was a black man, who they found and all that stuff. I did see a quote that they tied to him that I don't know is true, so I'm not even gonna bother saying it. But if that quote is true, that what the black lawyer said, then he's a coon. But it is what it is. Anima says, was he violent? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you, I'm lost. But yeah, Rick Chow shot him while he was running. I think they chased him 130 yards. I think I want to show something right quick. I'm not going to show this whole thing. They showed him coming to the store. This is, make sure I get his name right. Cyrus Carmack-Belton. He's a 14-year-old who walked into the store, had his backpack on. And we don't need to go too deep into the story because this is even more simple than the Carmelo case. We know exactly what happened. He should have been found guilty. He wasn't. It is what it is. This part right here, if they show it immediately. Hold on. Let me just. Okay, they showed it, but I'm gonna go here. Now, right here, he walked into the store with his backpack. The first thing the Asian woman tell him to do is take off your backpack. Now, this is one of those things where I say black people allow so much disrespect in their community. If I walk into a store and the owner of the store is already treating me like a criminal, I'm just going to leave. No, I'm not putting my backpack down. No, I'm not doing this or that. I'm not following no unnecessary rules because you think I'm a steal. If you think I'm a steal, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to do no business here. We allow this to happen way too much. I don't care that there's other instances of people stealing in his store. You're not going to treat all of us like criminals. You can have your rule. That's fine. But I'm not going there. So out the gate, and he's only 14, so I'm not putting any of this on him. But we allow this to happen so much in our community. I remember I went back to North Carolina on a trip a few years ago. It had to be 2018 or 2022, 21. I can't remember. And I was at a local store around my uncle's spot. And the store is owned by an Arab man. There's 2 stores right across the street from each other too, which is crazy. But the store is owned by an Arabs, or Arabs, as we call them down there. And I went into the store, I got what I wanted, I'm at the register, and there's this older black man, had to be in his 40s, and he's with his lady. The Arab dude that's behind the counter is the son of the owner. He has to be no more than 16. I think I told the story before. He's no more than 16 years old. And he's been so disrespectful to this black man. This black man is trying to talk to his lady, and that little Arab dude keeps saying slick stuff. Hold on. The little Arab dude keeps saying slick stuff. And when the black dude finally confronts him, he said either buy or leave, buy or leave. He's being so disrespectful. And the black dude like, man, just give me my stuff, man. Just give me my stuff. You could tell he's so used to this little dude being a little arrogant little asshole. So I put my stuff on the counter. I just walk out. I didn't buy nothing. I just put it on the counter and walk out. I'm not finna. I said, take me to the store. I went to the store across the street. I'm not finna even give you no business. Like, what we doing? The fact that the dude who got disrespected still gave him business instead of going to the store across the street. I was like, what are you doing? Just leave. I left immediately. You didn't even say nothing to me, but I'm not giving you no money at all. But anyway, Honorable says, was Lego Man violent? What I understand, it was break-ins. There was no gun. There was no robbery. There was no assault on anybody. From the article I read, there was no, in the article, they said nothing of him committing any violence, shootings, holding nobody hostage, nothing. It was just break-ins. So yeah, I don't know. The case confused me. I initially thought the son chased him down and did the shooting, but didn't one of the witnesses claim to see the father do the shooting? Yes, the father's the one that shot him. The son, and it's in the video, I can fast forward because we don't need to watch the whole thing. You see he's walking around, and as the little 14-year-old is walking around, just like the movie Menace to Society, which people keep referencing to this case, because it's just crazy how much alike these stories are now, because that movie was based off reality. It's almost like back in the 90s when black people did movies and they had black American actors, it was based off black American life, so it was able to relate. But anyway, the Asian woman kept following him around, making sure he ain't stealing. The son kept watching him. All these people are hawking this 14-year-old like he's a thief, and all he did was go to the water cooler. Like, he didn't even go to, like, I'm not saying I'm defending it at all to do it, but he not even going around the store just touching stuff and putting it down. He went straight to the water cooler and grabbed a couple bottles. That's all he did. Like, you tell him to take his backpack off. Where are he supposed to put these 4 water bottles at? Is he going to put them in his pockets? You're going to see it. It's going to be obvious that he's stealing. Like, I don't get it. Jenna says that it would make more sense to me that the son shot him. Father caught them, then chose to take the rap as they might have been advised they could easily get the father off. And they did. Yeah, because they try to use the argument that the reason why the father even shot him is because he didn't chase. Let me give it a shot. Get his name correct again. Making sure my son was okay. That's why he got off. He made the argument, I did not chase the boy. I only ran when my son ran to make sure he's okay. So then when I got there, they lied about him pulling the gun out on them. And so I shot him, even though you shot him in a position where there's no way he turned towards you and had a gun. He got shot in the back. Like, there's no way he pointed a gun at you. The only way that works is if he pointed a gun at you, you paused and froze. He didn't turn around and continue to try to run, and then you shot him. So he could have shot you and he didn't, and then you shot him. But we know that did not happen, so it's not even a scenario. Adam says the son speaking in the store video sounds so different from the clips in the courtroom. Oh, he's a chigga. He's a chigga. He was talking real, he had a lot of ebonics in his talk. He was talking real gangster. He was talking real tough in the store, but on the courtroom he was soft spoken, and all of a sudden he remember he's Asian. All of a sudden, I'm not really, crazy. They should have gotten them out of there a long time ago. He was a history of doing this. Multiple shootings. I think he shot at somebody's car. He accused somebody of stealing. I don't know if they did or not. He chased him out of the store. They got in their car after arguing and tussling with him. They got in the car and drove off. He shot at the car while he was driving. It's like, what the hell? But you can tell the father. You can tell that the wife and the son. The father has trained them to view the customers as insurgents. So you could tell he's trained them to see the customers. They see the store as their kingdom. Their store is the kingdom, and their job is to defend the kingdom from invaders. So when these people come in and they look suspicious, they got dreads in their hair, they wearing a hoodie, They wearing joggers. They wearing Jordan shoes. They are taught to view them as possible thieves. They're trained that this is an operation for them. This is normal. But you look at this video here. I'm just gonna fast forward through it. He's watching them. He picked up the water bottles and then put them back. I was following him around. So he tries to leave. They confront him. The son decided to chase him out there. Now, this is the part where it shouldn't have worked for the father. This is not a situation where the son was already going out the door and the father just reacting. Right? That's how they try to paint it. That the son just bolted and started chasing him, and the father's just like, "Oh, my son, no, y'all both on timing right now. Y'all both go at the same time." Look, the son even looked back like, "You coming, Dad? I'm going." You see? The son even looked back like he knew, like, we out. Let me get there. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. Right here. The son even looked back to make sure the father is coming after him. The father right here could have said, "Stop. Don't go out there. Just let it go." just stop. He didn't. He followed his son. He knew what they were going to go do. Let's go get him. They started running at the same time. Let's go get him. That's what happened. Then it obviously go out. You see the video outside. I think I got the one from outside too. Hold on. See, look. He went outside.
During Wednesday's testimony.
He just chilling. Like, he just walking. Like, all right, I'm out, man. These people crazy. Leave me alone. Look, he come out, busted the door. Now, after they go out there, he see them chasing him. He just run. Like, what the hell? Now, here's my theory. Alma says, "I wonder if the gun was in the front pocket of the hood and the bolt is why they thought he was lying. But for the mom, if you're watching him that closely, why shouldn't she shouldn't know the waters were put back?" Exactly. They knew he didn't have no waters. Jenna says, "I've had better situation in Chinese restaurants, but most of my encounters with Chinese, Koreans, and Arabs in their mom and pop stores has not been good since the 80s. Mostly." Okay. Now, here's my theory as to why he ran. Because people are like, why would you run? You didn't steal. The reason why he ran is because he has a gun. He's a 14-year-old. He didn't want to he didn't want to get caught with a gun. I don't think there was ever a threat of him pulling a gun out and shooting them. There's two people chasing me. I have a gun on me. They're going to find a gun on me and I'm going to get in trouble. He's a 14-year-old. Now, I don't know how deep in the streets he are, if he's repping a set or whatever, but it makes more sense to say a 14-year-old who had a gun has two adults chasing him. He runs because they're gonna find my gun. Like, he didn't have a thought to pull the gun out and say, "Stop chasing me." He just ran because he was scared. They're gonna find my gun. That just makes more sense. And obviously after this video, you see the after they chase, they call them. Let me play this. Oh shit.
Several times with Chow, less than a half an hour after the killing. The deputy can also be heard telling Chow to go back to his car and sit there. The store surveillance videos did not contain audio, and there were gaps in the audio from the body camera footage too.
So yeah, it's an unfortunate story. He got off somehow. Then you go, well, it's South Carolina. But then you go, well, there was Negroes. And I saw people making the comments about the all-white jury. I brought it up too. But on that jury, there was whites, Asians. I think there was some Indians or whatever, which is all white basically. But what does it matter if a week before this case happens and they had 5 black people on the jury? Now you can say it was slightly different context of how they presented the case. The father was defending his son. He wasn't chasing Cyrus, but still, that ain't what happened. They both were chasing him. And they were looking to do something to him. They didn't know he had a gun apparently, but yet that's now why they shot him. But you didn't know he had a gun and you know he didn't steal. So you chased him because you thought he stole. You were wrong. This should have been an open shut case, but it is what it is. America, America, America. It really is Really is supposed to be the candy land, right? I'm always make the point, oh man, it's not good to be a bad person. You benefit being a good person. No, terrible people do really well. Elon Musk is a trillionaire now. Elon Musk is a trillionaire. He's a piece of shit. In this world, bad people do benefit. They do live a long time. As some of the most racist, most vile people lived into their 90s, into their 100s. It's the judgment after that's when they really die. But anyway, Honorable says, why wasn't more said about there being no water bottles near the scene? Well, they know he didn't steal. Their whole point became, we shot him because he pointed a gun at my son. I shot him. The father's point is, I shot him because he pointed a gun at my son. He fell to the ground, turned around, pulled a gun out, and pointed it at him. Even though that's not what happened. The forensics said that that's not possible. Where he was shot, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, they just let him off. Honorable says, too many of our people love to play contrarian games, so them being on the jury means nothing. There will never be another OJ jury. Oh yeah. Mystery Man said, I'm boycotting all Asian stuff, even Asian porn. What up, Mystery Man? Let's get to it. I'm glad you brought that up. Mystery Man came in just in time. Pastor Jamal Bryant issues challenge to boycott Asian-owned stores. Didn't Jamal Bryant get cussed out because he tried to end that Target boycott? Now he trying to jump in front of something else. Like, what are you doing? This is leave it alone, man. Pastor Jamal Bryant is once again at the center of a consumer activism debate after responding to viral social media videos mocking calls for a boycott of Asian-owned businesses. Oh boy. The Asians been showing they whole ass. They've been acting like shit really sweet. There was do I have it? Yeah, I got it right here too. I'm glad I got it right. Let me show this. This is the one that went the most viral initially. Hold on.
You guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and hip hop culture. What do you think that's made? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the neighborhood so bad? Oh, Asian people are not neighborhoods. We're in white neighborhoods. We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money? A lot of us do go to college as well. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed? Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people. I want to see your own women get on their hands and knees and do pedicures and manicures and deal with nasty ass attitudes, okay? Please, boycott Asian business. I'm all for the black community.
Ooh wee. He said this. He was talking cash cold shit. And very quickly later after he posted this video, he deleted all social media from what I understand. But a lot of Asians started sharing the same sentiment. They was like, do it. I dare you. You can't. You need us. We don't need you. I think they're very unaware of the buying power that Black Americans have, unfortunately, given to Asian communities. A lot of Black people done sent multiple Asian families, bloodlines to college. Like I said, this is nothing to be proud of, but a lot of y'all have absolutely built entire family lineages over here because Black people are willing to do business with you when you go and come into their neighborhood. When you sell them, rats in the damn food and tell them that it's chicken. When you giving them duck sauce for their chicken. Why is this happening? When the rice is actually plastic and you can bounce it like a damn ball when you ball it up. Black people deal with that. They shouldn't. Once again, it's not a good thing. But to act like it's a bunch of white women going in these hood hair stores, it's not to say white women don't wear extensions and stuff. They absolutely do. But the number one, I found this out because Travis said this. Me and Travis was talking about this last night. And Travis was like, the number one expense in the Black community is beauty and hair. And we looked it up and it's true. Black women spend the most of their money on their beauty. There's hair, clothes, all makeup, all that stuff. You absolutely would hurt if they stopped spending with you. And you're crazy if you don't understand that. But hey, please don't believe it. I hope. I'm gonna get that. Let me just wait. Honorable says, Mussing Liquid, we got to stop listening to white and Asian man math. Of course not. Elon Musk is a prop for NASA and really the U.S. government, CIA. His money ain't real. He's a character that's been playing a character for the longest. He ain't got no money. His money is the money they let him say he got. You know, because you're not gonna tell me that Elon Musk is the richest man in the history of the world outside of like Mansa Musa. But then you tell me there's a such thing as the Rothschilds who just hide their money, who just got so much money it doesn't. It's like we don't got to count this. Like we know what it is. Like these bloodlines, these family bloodlines that exist that's been around thousands of years, constantly controlling the banks and stuff. I'm supposed to just believe that Elon Musk got more money than him. Mr. Man said Asian guy got put in a burning cross in Chicago. I'm gonna show that. I got that too. Virginia says, first, why do all these yellow peeps sound black slang? It's because they tell us that the reason why they talk and act like and enjoy the stuff is because of imperialism, because it was forced on them. They tell us the reason why the Vietnamese and the Koreans eat fried chicken is because America went to war over there, and the black soldiers, they made us like the music. They made us like the food. No, you adopted it because you liked it. But anyway, to imagine gaslighting people to buy shit they don't need. Again, the nerve. Yeah. Craig said, hey, Scary ass deleted his page after making the video. Yeah, scary. Honorable says, I hate the word boycott. I feel like it misrepresents buying the Black American own. I'm glad you said that too. So I wish Black people didn't need somebody to do something to us to be inspired to only look at us as the first option when it comes to spend money. Like, you shouldn't need a store owner to kill a 14-year-old and get off to say, I'm not going to go to Asian businesses, I'm going to go to Black businesses. Shouldn't that be already the standard? And I understand that when it comes to Black businesses, because of the system that is here, it's a lot more difficult. There's less of them. The ones that do exist, they typically have to manage everything. So things are more expensive because they have no factories and stuff to work with. So everything is done by hand. So things are just more expensive. So they got to charge you more. And now you feel like the Black stores are more expensive, or the Black products is more expensive than everything else. Why is it more expensive? Take it like this. Put it like this. Things that's good for you typically more expensive. Like if you eat healthy foods, you notice very quickly your grocery bill is triple the amount when you buy junk food. But then when you don't buy junk food, I mean, it's more expensive. They purposely do it that way to make you not look that direction because it just costs too much. Hell, just when you want to go buy Black-owned shampoos and stuff, it's like hand soaps, it's clothing. It's more expensive because we have less of a control of an industry. Which is what we saw with the hair thing when those Black women, I think out in California, was trying to start a hair store, and the Koreans blocked them from going straight to, from buying hair from the distributors. But apparently now some of the Black women have got around that by going to India instead of Korea and stuff. It's like, but do we really want Black women going to India to buy hair from Indian women to give it to Black women? I mean, is that really a win? I'm just saying, like, it's still a loss, but it is what it is. Brian says, blackout makes more sense than boycott. I personally don't need nothing they selling. Plus, I make my own damn fried rice. Oh, shit, hold on. Says they don't own any of the intellectual property, and they already exposed their hand when they were revealing they make all the clothes and bags for luxury fashion houses. China will sell directly to us. Yeah. Honorable says, stop watching Black women money. I hate that tired talking point. When is Black men money going to not child support? All right, now that rhetoric. Mr. Man said the Asian water is colder than the Black people's. Yeah, it seemed like it. Everybody water colder. Black people just got boiling water. Nobody want to actually just deal with their own. It's like, except I'm saying Black people, we don't want to just deal with our own. Everybody else is just easier, simpler. It's more convenient. It's closer. I ain't got to drive as far. It'll get here faster. We make all the excuses to work with other people, but yeah. So yeah, he put out this. I don't even want to watch. This is the obvious video. I should have played it from here.
I love when the Black communities.
Hold on.
let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout.
I already played this. I ain't got to play it. It was just echoing. All right. Yeah, Jamal, go for it, bro. You might get it. But yeah, they popping it. Now let me play a couple more videos.
Right now, the black community online is talking about how they're going to boycott Asian businesses and how much they don't like Asians.
You see how quickly the devil showed up? Do you see how quickly the devil showed up? Let's get this straight. This is not about Asian hate at all. Black people saying that they're going to shop at other black businesses, to them, translates to oppression. Black people helping other black people, to them, translates to oppression. In their mind, this translates to hate towards them. Black people ain't say they hate Asian people. Y'all can care less about a black child being ran down 130 yards and catching a bullet in his back. Even when that person that shot him showed that they are already trigger happy. But y'all have all the outrage in the world the moment that black people say, hey, you know what, we're just gonna shop at other black businesses.
But it shouldn't take that happening for you to do that anyway. So the Asians are right to get in the like. Why is it when you do something, then you want to do what you should have already been doing? They doing it from an unrighteous standpoint, but like, damn. I know it says it's not the standard for the same reason black people are speaking against FBA and claiming it's white supremacists. We have had 61 years of pretending POC alliances are real, is drilled into our spaces. Old buddy, what's his name? Anthony Supreme on Twitter. He turned POC into pets of Caucasians. He ended that. That was crazy. Mr. Chain the Builder. Oh yeah, they was talking spicy. Mean Ling and all them was getting online. They was saying everything they ever had on their chest. Even in the videos of the Carmelo Anthony case, we had the white people talking shit. In the comments, you had a bunch of Asians. Can we join you? Can we join y'all? It wasn't just the Mexicans. It was all type of Arabs, everybody. It's like, whoa, y'all trying to jump on black? All right. That's when I was talking about the comments earlier with black people saying, oh, why don't everybody like us, man? Because they ain't you. That's why. Alma says, why shouldn't it take a movement to do it? Because you should already have it. It's part of it's culture. The first thing in culture, you should be willing to support your culture. Like when, what's his name? When Denzel had a speech about, black people directing black movies, he said, look, when I do a movie about the black family, can't no Jewish man understand the hot comb and the smell that creates in the kitchen. And, when the hot comb on the stove in the kitchen, like there's certain elements, cultural elements that they just won't understand. So yes, black people need to create our own stuff. The same reason why you need to purchase from your own, because you know that black family has black kids and they trying to build their family. So when you give them money, it's helping the future generation of their family, and they give you the resources that's going to help your family. That's the point of culture. When you run into the Asians that eat Chinese food, when you could have went to the soul food. I'm not saying you can't eat other food, by the way. There's black Chinese food. There's black Americans that own Chinese businesses now. So like, hey man, if you can find a way, you will find a way.
I'm Sean. This is my wife Mia and our daughter Ty. We're the owners and founders of Happy Bamboo Toilet Tissue.
Hi everyone.
And this is Mr. Happy Bamboo.
Happy Bamboo Toilet Tissue.
And we still need your help getting Happy Bamboo into every home, every university, and every workplace out there. When you choose us, you're choosing comfort.
Hey everybody, it's time for
So I'm showing this because this is a commercial. This is a little ad that a family did on TikTok for their business, selling toilet paper. And I saw this and I saw people reposting it, and it's like, wait, I said this before. For some reason, black people don't know how to sell to themselves. They know how to get other people involved, and other people know how to sell black stuff to black people better than black people know how to sell to black people. It's the craziest thing. And I guess it's because, unfortunately, because of history and trauma and all that, yada, 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 that there's an automatic distrust when a black person in a business come to you and say, work with me. You immediately come with, suspicion, but who are you? What's your back? You all got all these questions as to why you shouldn't do it, why you shouldn't purchase from it and all that stuff. But when a pink face in front of you telling you to buy, you pay attention to the product. It is what it is, man. You got to get through it. Mr. Man said, when Democrats get back in power, we don't want to hear anything about a black and brown collaboration. Anima says it's not part of the culture when you have been positioned from all sides to be inclusive of everyone in order to take one step forward. Now that's true. And that's been going on since the civil rights movement. It turned into a movement about everybody, black people helping everybody and black people using the number argument. We need more numbers. Just everybody that's not white be on our side. And some white people. With poor white people, you're on our side too. But that's Marxism. That's communism. Numbers, coalition building like that. Poor, it became a conversation about class versus race. And unfortunately, during the Black Panther era, a lot of black people fell into the class thing. Oh, it's about class. It's about, you know, the rich, you know, we need to do something about them. And then, but that poor white person next to you called you a nigga. Like, and they told you to your face, they don't want to see your kids prosper. But you want to work with them to take down the rich people. You know, and I don't want to bring up no crazy history, but I'm going to just say this quick comment. That's the same thing that happened to black people in Europe. I'm going to leave it at that. It was reversed, though. You were the rich, and the poor blacks went against the rich blacks and went with the white poors. But anyway, Anima says that's a Caribbean business. I saw that, too. I was going to get into that in a second, because I think I got the next one right after this. A lot of... do I have it right here? Yeah, here it goes. 39. This dude right here is accused. I don't know if it's true. He's accused of trying to help sell a Asian business, but treating it like a black business, right? I saw a whole bunch of stories of Asian people they would have a business and they would hire all black employees and label it black owned. Like, remember during the pandemic when that became a big thing, people started making apps where you can track black owned businesses in your area. I downloaded one too, funny enough. And then you go in the store and it's like, this ain't on black owned. Why is it labeled under black owned? Because a lot of Asians was lying about obviously who the ownership was to get those customers to come in. The same thing happened with the case. That's basically what happened with the case with the Black Doctors website, where the white dude is suing the website for not allowing non-black doctors on a website for black people to find black doctors. So the Asians and all these other white people was labeling their businesses black owned to continue to get the business, because it was, you know, it pretty much became a marketing plan. Black owned became marketing.
So pull up right now, 3935 Urban Avenue. You see where we at? We at the Head Palace. Look, I ain't even gonna sit here and tongue wrestle with y'all. Come on with me. Look at all this. Look at it. Get a good look at it. Look at all that. Come on. I'd have been all day trying to show y'all that on a video. Look at that. Man.
Fast forward, because when you look behind the counter, it's Asians. But who you selling this to then? But with that, we also saw a whole bunch of Jamaicans, Haitians, Africans started labeling their business black owned. Yeah, that became, to some people with certain political beliefs, a little bit tricky, because they consider everybody black, obviously. I remember the African hair store back and forth kerfuffle that happened, where a lot of the black women started saying they're gonna boycott African hair stores because they're disrespectful. The African hair stores were labeling their stores black owned, even though obviously they were African. Then they got mad at black people for calling them African hair braiders when the name of the store is literally African hair braiders. But that's a whole other conversation. I'm gonna say, who's the equivalent of this guy in other races? Because we never see other races do this when it's time to stand against blacks. Well, you said it earlier. We don't have that because it's not a part of the culture that we built in the last 60 years, where we try to push this people of color thing. Work with anybody that's good to us. If you're nice to us, we'll work with you. We'll push you. We'll push you to the top. Just be nice to us. You don't got to actually build nothing. You just got to be nice. Let me play this one.
Okay, y'all, I was on my way up to check out this new nail salon that I heard was over there by the Walmart, by the Rainbow store. And I was like, well, let me stop and see what the traffic is looking like over here, since I was up here the other day. And so when I did, I bumped into this lady. And let me just say, ma'am, if you see this video, I apologize. I was just passionate and a little tongue-tied and a little nervous too. So this was trying to stop you from going into the nail salon. I feel like I might have just ambushed you. So I'm sorry to you, lady. But this is what happened, y'all. Is anybody in the nail shop? Is it customers in there? How many? About 3? That's 3 too many. We on an Asian business boycott. That means food and everything. Yeah, because when they killed that boy Cyrus, that little 14-year-old black boy, yeah, the Asians came out and started talking junk about how we need them in our community. They said, who you going to buy your liquor from? Oh, no, man, we doing an Asian boycott, man. Don't go in there. We boycotting Asian businesses. We got a black dealer, a black nail salon right across the street. Walk-ins welcome. We're not supporting them no more, sister. I'm trying to tell you. You do what you... No, I'm just trying to inform you. I'm not trying to tell you. As I'm trying to inform you, there really is a Asian boycott going on in the black community.
And I just want to show that part. This is when you realize I don't subscribe to the belief that the real world and internet are not the same. I believe it's pretty blended at this point. But there are moments when you realize there is a separation. There's a whole bunch of black people that don't know nothing about this. They're not following none of these stories online. They don't know none of this. So they're going straight to the China Wok restaurant, getting some chicken wings and some fried shrimp fried rice. They're gonna go to the hair place and buy them some hair and a couple bonnets or whatever. And they're gonna go home and mind their business. So when you see people in the real world trying to push a boycott and these people look confused, it kind of shows how just dejected some people are from certain things happening with their people in this country. I feel like it sounds crazy, right? I feel like black people in general may have been a little bit more aware of what was going on nationally in their community when we had to go to newspapers versus with the internet. Because you get flooded with so many news articles that you just start swiping past them. But when it was newspaper, when something big happened, like that case in South Carolina happens in the 90s, the 80s probably, it probably becomes a little bit more of a national quote unquote movement or blackout. But because it happens in the internet area, it's like people see it and just kind of moved on, and then they find out 2 weeks later, oh, that was considered a big deal. Like, there's no, as people been saying, the monoculture that existed is starting to break up a lot more. Some of the black monoculture is starting to break up so much that certain regions or certain people don't even have the same attachment to some of these stories. It's kind of like they saw it, they read it, said that's messed up, and kept it moving. Versus back then, it became a rallying cry way easier. Anna says, biracials are already posting videos that they offended on behalf of the Asians. Drop the word boycott immediately. Yeah. They've been going in on biracial people too, about them being OD pro-black, especially at the HBCUs, leading departments. They've been talking about that too. Let me show a few more of these. I'm going to get out of here soon too. I'm not going to play this whole thing, just pointing out more of what I said earlier about accepting disrespect for no reason. Why are you allowing this man to search you? Just leave.
Feel free to go inside. Feel free to go inside. Feel free to go inside. Keep going. Keep going. What is that? Okay, take the Bible. No, keep going. Keep going.
This dude, let me say this. I might be wrong, but I don't think he black American, but I might be wrong.
I'll get naked if I have to. Nietzsche. No, keep going.
Why are you allowing these people to do a full search?
No, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Where else do you need to check? No, keep going. Keep going.
These Negroes that want to be proven right, and all you're doing is allowing yourself to be embarrassed. It's crazy. I would say this is the dark side of being able to create your own algorithm. Many will not. Many will be out of the loop. True. Although I will say this, and this is not, I feel like it's considered a negative, but you can understand why he might have did it now. The one social media platform where that's still a thing, but not as strong, is X. On Twitter, you're going to see some BS you don't care to see. Like Elon Musk, he even said when he first bought the platform that he want to quote unquote break up the echo chamber. So although you can curate your own algorithm, there's still going to be some stuff that you don't care to see that's going to be forced on your timeline. You're going to see a bunch of, you'll have right wingers, you'll have Marxists, communists, you have foreigners that from another country speaking Japanese or Portuguese on your timeline, and you literally have it saying, I don't want to see these things. You follow certain topics. So Elon Musk is going to make sure certain things is on your timeline. So he doesn't allow you to be completely out of the loop. You're going to see something. But yeah. Yeah, let me just run through some of these.
Let me try this Rick Chow shit again. Earlier, I had one, I think.
Look how he talking, though. Like who said that earlier? Look how he talking.
I was going too hard. The streets is definitely not ready for that.
Using
that was too
AAV,
heavy.
by the way, clown.
So I'll give you this. You know how all these uneducated black people trying to push Asian people down, boycotting their businesses, talking shit about us just because there was a criminal incident that happened.
A racial incident.
Now the oppressed people, the pick-me victim people starts coming out, showing their true color, how racist they are, how low IQ they are, how stupid they are.
You can't even talk
saying
properly.
oh, why don't you open businesses in white neighborhoods? Do you know white neighborhoods overheads are 3 times or probably 10 times higher than opening up
White
in the
people
hood?
don't want you in
Maybe
their
learn about
neighborhoods.
simple economics before you open your fucking mouth.
All you gotta do,
You
can't even talk properly.
why don't you
Look how quick that accent popped out, though. Watch this.
open businesses in white neighborhoods? Do you know white neighborhoods overheads are 3 times or probably 10 times higher than opening up
White
in the
people
hood?
don't want you in
Maybe
their
learn about
neighborhoods.
simple economics before
Economics. He's turning real Asian right there.
your fucking mouth.
All you gotta do is let these people talk and they show their true fucking colors. And this person thinks he can get away with it by deleting the video, but the internet is forever. And we know who the fuck you guys are. You motherfuckers do not respect us. Meanwhile, you're talking in AAVE, talking about low IQ, and you can't even say a fucking coherent sentence. Like, the amount of disrespect that I've seen from the Asian community, all because we are mad over you guys being in our neighborhoods and killing us. It just goes to show this is exactly why people want to boycott you.
I was saying get rid of the word boy. But then, and I'm gonna get through this. It's gonna be the last segment. Oh shit, I messed up. Hold on, y'all. For whatever reason, during this, a whole bunch of Hispanics decided that their opinion needed to be heard on whether or not they're gonna boycott Asian, or whether or not people care about what they think. And we know it's mainly because they are also Asian. They know that's their peoples. When we read that manifest from that communist leader, and he said that the gold people of America, talking about the Native Americans, and then he said the Mexicans, they acknowledge that they are Asiatic people, Asian people. But I want to play. Let me play this here. Let me play this.
I've been seeing a lot of black people on the internet saying, oh, we gotta boycott the Asians and the Chinese people. Like, bro, y'all sound stupid as hell, bro. Most of y'all, like, why you got beef with the Asians and Chinese people? By the end of the weekend, I promise, more than half of you guys are gonna be going out to the Chinese buffets and ordering shit from China. So who the fuck are you kidding? Saying, oh, they hate us, they wanna get rid of us, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever thought about why they hate you motherfuckers? Why everybody hates y'all motherfuckers? Because y'all don't know how to behave. Damn. Haters.
Now, he say this in the music he got playing in the background.
Have you ever thought?
The music he has playing in the background is African-American, Black American music. But he's saying nobody like y'all. Bro, no one cares about who the fuck y'all like. No one cares. Now, I will say there is some soft-shoeing Negroes that do go around getting, like I said, asking that question. Why don't they like us? Like, why? When it, like, bruh, please know that is the weakest of us that's saying that shit. Most of us do not give a damn who the hell you like. Who gives a damn? Virginia says, for the love of money, this is the root of all evil. 1 Timothy 6:10, more effective to black out than to boycott. Exactly. Honorable says the way they throw around us playing the victim card, and yet they ran to our government and begged to be let in because they were incapable of being shut down from their own people at home. Exactly. Cowards. Cowards. Let me show this right here. This is from 2 weeks ago, and I never got to it, but it fits perfectly with what's going on right now. So while these people are telling you how they feel and all this other stuff, this was a thing that happened a couple weeks ago. A drunk girl hit her car And she felt bad because she didn't speak English and wasn't sure about her legal status. She didn't want her to get in trouble. Cops came and let her leave with the girl so her granddad can grab her. Her car got towed. I said nothing indigenous about the majority of the New Spain project. So this woman, this black woman, got hit by a drunk Mexican. And instead of calling the cops on her ass, a drunk Mexican who could have killed somebody, by the way, driving drunk, decided to help her get away.
I'm gonna have to find her because she just got into a freaking accident and she don't speak no English. But she's so attached to me and I feel so bad. I don't want her to go to jail.
She's attached to me. She playing your ass.
Driving drunk. And she slammed right into that.
She faking like she sleep.
So bad for her. And I don't think she got her herself. Oh my God, behind you. I don't think she got her green card. So it's gonna be horrible if she do go.
This is what you doing when you extend yourself for other people. Now I wonder if a black woman who was drunk hit her, would she have did the same thing? If a black American woman would have hit her in a car and was drunk, would she have done the same thing to make sure she didn't go to jail? Absolutely not. Regina says no one cares who the fuck they like or don't like. Facts do, only in the black bootlick and immigrants perhaps, but not the American girl. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get your shit done in their own country. Did all that for her, but with your own, you would have been quick to call the police. You would have got online. You would have went on a long rant about how she messed your car up and she could have killed somebody and black people needed that. You would have did a whole rant, a whole story time, as y'all like to call it. But you know, it's a Mexican woman, so you had to show extreme empathy. You have so much empathy for them.
I'm not no TikToking old person for real. I would have gave y'all a correct update because, like, we brung her home. We literally brung her home. She don't know nobody like that down here. And then on top of that, she couldn't think straight because she's drunk, so she couldn't even open her phone for real.
Now I'm gonna give black women a pass for this. I'm not gonna. This obviously is not the majority of black women. I don't put this as something that I think black women would have did, but I think black people. This is something that we've seen happen time and time again, where they extend themselves and go above and beyond for the safety of someone else. But when the person look like them, that just doesn't exist. Now you want to hold people accountable.
We brought her home, let her sober up, and she called her granddaddy or whatever. He came and got her. She's okay. She didn't go to jail. Nothing happened. Her car got towed. That's all that happened. In Miami-Dade, police let us take her. Mind you, they know we don't know this lady. Done told you 1,000,001 times we don't know this lady, but you let us take her. You let strangers take her. What is it? Because we females? We could have still did something. Like, I don't like nothing about that. Like, she out of her mind, and y'all just let us take her. I mean, she home safe now, but like, still.
This is crazy. Craig says our beautiful humanity will be our undoing. No, it was our undoing. It already happened. We're in the midst of the punishment the last couple centuries because of our humanity. Honorable says, I'm starting to see why the sexy reds of the community are a problem. Craig says that if I don't know no one here, she should go home simple. Honorable says they're not doing the same because being harmed by an American helps to process the immigration papers faster. I remember those still creating false current. Yeah, that too. And snitching. I'm going to get to that in a second. They snitch too. Is this right? Is it? I think I got it right here. Yeah, this is it. Now, this is the video like 2 weeks ago I was going to talk about. I didn't get to it. A Belizean gang member from the LA says, the only people I'm not banging on is white people and Mexicans, but I'm banging on every black person that I see. Nipsey was right. Let me play this.
You know, I see niggas, I'm banging on everything. Only people I'm not banging on is white boys and Mexicans. You feel me? They not my people.
We appreciate it.
You know?
Thank you very much.
It's regular that a nigga I'm going to bang on everything black that I see.
This is like Boondocks bad. This is like Boondocks bad. The nigga said, I'm banging on everything black I see.
You know, See, niggas, I'm banging on everything. Only people I'm not banging on is white boys and Mexicans. You feel me? They not my
We appreciate it.
You know?
Thank you very much.
It's regular that a nigga go, I'm going to bang on everything black that I see.
Now, this dude is from Belize. I found out in this thread, apparently, that there are entire sectors, entire crew, gangs over there in LA, certain cliques, whatever you want to call them, that are completely foreigners, that are from Belize, Honduras, other Panamanian. There's entire cliques over there that are brown bloods, Pyrus, all that stuff, certain cliques that are completely immigrant. And it made me remember that thing that Tariq said that we always laughed at because it was like that's going too far. When he said that if we look up the crime statistics, the black crime statistics, the violent crime statistics, how many of those people are from other countries versus Black American, FBA, ADOS, whatever you want to freedmen. And he was trying to make an argument that the majority of the criminality comes from them. And you just go, nah, hey, I ain't gonna go that far. They too small of a population to account for that much. But man, as time goes on, you find out that the drug problem in the 80s, it wasn't just the Colombians. It was the Jamaicans that was pushing a lot of that. In South Carolina, they started a whole gang. The Haitians, I'm sorry. The Haitians, Jamaicans had a lot to do with the drug push, especially in the South and on the East Coast. I'm not saying that the entire thing is obviously immigrant. We know that the gangs were started. It seemingly was started by foundational Black Americans. A lot of the leaders, a lot of them were trying to push this whole thing where they were trying to defend their communities. They were built in political and social beliefs, and it kind of obviously deteriorated into criminality. But man, as time goes on, man, you find out how many of these people are immigrants, how many of the leaders of these movements, how many of these gangs, and how much of these things that impact the Black American community today was pushed by immigrants. You start to go, all right, man, we got to do some numbers crunching at some point. Alma says, so Wack had no response. Wack he ain't gonna say nothing. And Wack be in those FBA spaces and I remember he used to be on FBA. He used to be in there arguing for FBA in those clubhouse rooms like years ago. So he be on that type of time sometimes. So for him to hear that, you know he knew what people was thinking, especially when they found out what his background was. Virginia says American, not American. You said shameful reminder that all skin folk and kinfolk calling others my people is risky. American born bred, not a color. Now, shout out to Lou Fax. He pointed this out, and I just thought this was crazy. Because as Honorable said earlier, that some of these people will use false crimes in order to get their papers, they process faster. Say a crime was committed against them, and then that's how they get their papers faster. That's why people said be careful in the next coming months that if you don't start seeing a whole bunch of Asian businesses pop up getting burned down, and they start saying that their business is being burned down by Black people because of the Rick Chow situation or because they boycotting, quote unquote, boycotting Asian businesses. They might start using that as a play, so just be careful. Virginia says, def some numbers crunching. Like, who are we really? Where's the Americans at? Here. So he said you can snitch for a green card. The origins of a lot of gang culture in America come from sanctuary cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. And that's a fact. I know them immigrants telling to get a green card. The snitch visa is a colloquial term for the non-immigrant visa, which allows foreign nationals who act as crucial witnesses or informants to remain in the U.S. temporarily and eventually apply for a green card. They snitching for green cards now. I'm gonna say a lot of those Black California people in those FBA spaces. Yes, I know one of them. They got a platform. They got a podcast. I think I showed one of their clips before. It's a dark skinned brother, and I say that because he makes sure to point out how African Black Americans are. He argue against FBA all the time, and he uses I've heard him use his complexion as proof that we African. It's like, bruh, what do you mean? All right. Anyway, sad thing is white boys and Mexicans feel the exact opposite way. That's the point. Now, this also is a bad look for the LA dudes because it looks like they be scary of them damn Mexicans or something. Like, I don't know what it is. Every time they get, especially this no jumper, stuff, I don't know what it is. Every time these black dudes get on there with these Mexicans on their podcast, they look like they just soft showing it up, talking real light, being careful with their words. It's like, bruh. I remember when Kendrick had to pop out and Mexicans got on the platform and said, basically, fuck Juneteenth. He should have had more Mexicans on the platform. And they not getting reparations until we get it. I was like, what? And none of these dudes on a podcast, by the way, none of these dudes said nothing. They just let that rock. It's like, all right, man. I'm saying people are already posting blacks not helping them get insurance money from damaging business. People are already posting that blacks not helping them get insurance money from damaged business. Hey. What else we got? I'm gonna run through some more of this. I already showed this. I don't know how this got here again. I guess I'm talking about the Asians. I talked about it 2 weeks ago. The doll they're using over in China, racist as hell. I already talked about that. Oh, here we go. A burning cross in a Chicago park shocks residents and has police searching for who did it. So now the Asians are burning crosses. Let me just play this right here. Hold on.
Chicago police search for a man in connection with a cross burning in Grant Park. We've also just learned the FBI is now part of this investigation. Community members and leaders are blasting the symbol of racism and white supremacy. WGN's Dana Rebick has details.
This happened mid-afternoon on Tuesday here in Grant Park. We are hearing from a woman who drove by and saw this as it was happening, as Chicago police release a new image of a man they believe could be responsible.
This is something, when we've read about history books and seen in black and white footage, that type of thing, but never like today, 2026.
Don't fall for the black and white footage, by the way. A lot of the pictures they show you of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Cleaver and all these other people from back then, Rosa Parks, Fred Hampton, they show you these pictures in black and white to try and make you think it was so distant. All these people existed in a time where there was color TV, there was color pictures. Like pictures weren't black and white. They had color pictures. They put it in black and white to make you think it's distant and what they think would add some people do it that they think it would add a level of reverence to the photo if they show it in black and white. That stuff wasn't that long ago. I'm gonna say the person might be a confused half-breed or someone that has given up for adoption.
Expect to see this.
Kanika Carlton and her daughter were driving down Lakeshore Drive near Balbo around 2:30 Tuesday afternoon when they saw flames coming from Grant Park.
We thought it was just a tree branch burning, and we were going to call just 911 to say, hey, it's something burning. But as we got closer, that's when we noticed it was a cross.
I was horrified. I was angry. This was very, very intentional. You had to have made this cross, put it in some kind of vehicle, brought it down.
Obviously, they clearly did. It was intention. Now, this is the person they said may have done it. And it's an Asian man, apparently. What the hell is an Asian man doing, putting a burning cross around for? Like, what we doing? Is this him trying to set it off or something? Like, what we doing? In Chicago, of all places, by the way. Shock of the people who Nazis gave a pass to this burning shit. Yeah, I think this ain't gonna grab them as much because they too focused on people just saying the N-word online. That's what get them riled up. That's what gained they support. It is what it is. I want to show a little bit of this. Actually, I'm gonna save this. What else we got? We got anything else we want to get to? How long have we been live? 9. We didn't say woo. We are an important people, an important part of the divinity for there's so much hate being spewed from everywhere and everyone at the same. That's why I said it feels like someone or something is trying to rage bait you. Like it's like they trying to get something out of. It's everywhere. It's not just online. It's like in the real world, stuff is happening where there's clear people are trying to antagonize Black Americans. It's strange. All right, we're gonna get to this last part here. But this is not the last story. I got 2 more stories I want to get to. I probably should save this one too. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Let me show y'all this. AI presents an incredible opportunity for Jews, because instead of trying to control the whole world and manage social media, we can go directly to the computer with advocacy solutions. Let me play y'all with these Jewish people are sitting around talking about their plans for the future, at APAC event. Let me just show y'all what she had to say about the use of AI.
But where do you see genuine opportunity? How can AI help improve Jewish representation?
Representation, that's what this is about.
And all these issues?
The really cool thing about AI is that while it can become a great ally for our enemies, if we act early, it can be exactly the opportunity that we need. After missing the boat with social media, AI is...
She said we missed the boat with social media. We missed the boat with social media. They couldn't control the narrative with TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. They couldn't control the narrative. No matter how much they had YouTube or Facebook or places strike people's content down for being anti-Semitic, they couldn't control the narrative. So they're saying we gotta move to the next chapter of social media, of the internet. I'm sorry. We gotta jump on AI early.
Now becoming the dominant source of information, the main source of information. People trust AI more than anything else. They trust AI more than social media. They turn to chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini instead of using Google, and young people use these bots instead of Google in very, very, very large numbers. So this is becoming the main source of information. Okay.
And I said this like 4 years ago, that AI is not it's not the truth. It's everything you get from one of these AI bots. Even now when you search Google, it gives you an AI prompt to give you a summary of what you searched. You have to scroll down to get to actual articles and proof of it. Everything you see is something it grabbed from somewhere else. And you want to know the number one place that the ChatGPT, the Google AI prompt, the number one place it gets its information to give to you? Reddit. Reddit is one of the number one places that it gets its information. And I've heard for a long time that Reddit is a psyop. Reddit is literally, there was a time when there was a whole bunch of bots on Reddit. And something happened to a particular country where they lost a bot farm, and all of a sudden Reddit lost a lot of users. That country was Israel. There's some people that believe, allegedly, that Reddit is a Israel psyop. It's literally just a place they use for data mining. They get all the prompts, the information, the way you think, the questions you ask, they get it all from Reddit to store into these AI chatbots. So, yeah.
Okay. So when I say this, I still find Jewish people being discouraged. They say, oh, but Wikipedia is already so anti-Semitic. And
Wikipedia is anti-Semitic.
social media is so anti-Semitic. Why bother? The AI just learns from all of this data. So, whatever. Not much we can do. But that's not true. Because over the past 2 years, the AI companies have been moving towards alignment. So instead of the algorithms sort of honestly representing what's in the data, we're finding that these chatbots and the text-to-image models are increasingly showing us exactly what the companies want us to see.
But that being going on, if you ask like 2 years ago, if you asked ChatGPT certain things related to Black people, it would give you the context of what white people in America would say. And obviously a lot more people got on it and started pointing this out, so they had to change the bias a little bit. It's still biased. And they started, doing a little bit more general consensus stuff. And as she's saying, all these platforms are going towards pushing you to what their ideology is, what their what their truth is. So that's what she's saying they could take advantage of. Invest in the companies, or take them over, or start your own company, and then you get to push out a truth. But we gotta make a competitive one though. Virginia says, if it isn't already, in the years to come, AI will be sourced from God versus the written scriptures. Anonymous says, argue with ChatGPT and it revealed that Jew and LGBT have advocates that help them put all those filters on the factual information before the platforms are updated or released to public. Exactly. Craig said AI was promised to them 2,000 years ago. That shit never get old. They be on their ass about that. Let me get back to this.
Becoming intentional, which means that instead of trying to control the whole world and trying to somehow manage what's happening in this big blob of Wikipedia and social media, we can go directly to the companies with clear technical and advocacy solutions. So for the first time, there is a path to correcting the digital world.
Did you hear that? She said we must correct the digital world. Correct it. What is the correct way? These people are psychopaths. But anyway, speaking of the people that want to be represented, last episode, I showed y'all a video of a Jewish man from New York who's a part of this. Remember those tunnels? The people coming out of the tunnels? There was a man who's a part of the synagogue or the community that was a part of that. He came on and was very, very honest and said, yeah, that mattress you saw with blood on it, yeah, that was blood. And it's because we take dead bodies down there and we commit rituals to bring back the Messiah. He said that very nonchalant, very matter-of-factly. He said, yes, basically they commit necromancy as a means to bring back who they think the Messiah is. Now, those tunnels have found children. I think 70 children were found in those tunnels.
Mayor, can you give us a word? What's happening?
Some young girls, some kids, they were in the park, they got into the culvert of the creek and they started exploring, and then they ended up not really knowing where they were and they got a little alarmed. As far as I know from the police, I just got here a few minutes ago. As far as I know from the police, everybody's been accounted for. Nobody's missing. They're about to get them all on their buses, take them back home.
Mayor Joe Rand, Nyack, thank you very much.
Now, do we truly believe that these children wandered off? Anyway, Virginia says, y'all check out this AI book called The Great Book of Moat. Fascinating. Yeah, proud psychopaths. Exactly. And like I said, very matter-of-factly about it. They don't really think you can't do nothing about it to them. So all go for a black male, an African male. He made sure to be distinct with that. Playing Bond, that's not what they like in their culture, period. Now, on face value, I have no problem with that. Cool. I have no problem with Idris Elba being honest. I agree with him. Stop taking roles that these white people did. Let them have their movies, whatever. Create new characters for black people. Or we already got our James Bond. We got Shaft. We got Low Down Dirty Shame. You can recreate these characters and bring them back and make them consistent. They brought Shaft back a few years ago with Samuel L. Jackson and I forgot old buddy name. So we don't need James Bond. All right, we should be good. Arnold says, so groups can prevent him from playing characters. The whites just not black Americans. Oh, that's what made it so sweet, right? That's what made everything so crazy. He gave them that. He gave them the benefit and respect. He gave them respect. But before I get there, let me say this. But he also says he doesn't necessarily think that Bond should change. Bond is so unrealistic, so a hint of reality is good, but let's not try and make it woke. He used woke the white way. He said, we don't need that woke shit. We don't want to make it niggerish. We don't want to bring in DEI, affirmative action. Let's keep it pure. Elba continued, I think you got to be pure to what it is. Oh, he even used the word pure. I didn't even realize that. Escapism. Don't try and answer the world's taste. Just be blind. So like I said, on face value, I respect the fact that he understands to stop taking these roles. Same dude that's playing Snape in Harry Potter, the British dude, black, quote unquote, black dude who's playing Snape in Harry Potter show. Why would you take that role and get shocked that you get backlash? The same way you have black people or melanated people that decided to be on House of Dragon. Why are you surprised by the backlash? Like, they changed the story up to add y'all in, and then it's pushback because it's against the actual books that exist or the actual context of the characters. You get, oh, these people are racist to me. Yeah, you know they racist. So why are you jumping into a space where they have to enjoy your art? They don't want to watch you. Like, I don't understand. But as Honorable Brown, he did an interview on Fox 97, New York. What's the name of the damn? I forgot the name of the damn radio station, where Samuel Jackson said, yeah, Get Out was a good movie, but I would have liked to see an actual Black American in that role of Daniel Kaluuya as the lead character. It would have had more to it. I would have liked to see an actual Black American actor play that role, since it's about his things that relate to him and what happened to him here in America. I would say he did that thing all African people do, and they still said no. So this is a clip that somebody posted because, you know, if you said it, they synced it, and they're going to post it. Receipts is going to get brought back. All right, let's try that again. This is Idris Elba responding to the comments of Samuel Jackson, where he made the point that he didn't want, he would have liked to see an actual Black American play the role in Get Out rather than Daniel, can't say his last name right now, the British African dude. And Idris Elba had this to say in response, even though he's defended the white people who don't want him to play Bond.
You know what I noticed you said a Black woman in America versus an English woman. Like, being English makes you less Black.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Like,
That's the issue.
To me, that defines how unintelligent the whole argument is. No disrespect to anyone that has that feelings. It is what it is. But the fact is, we're all Black. Like, let's just be, you know, you get a Scottish actor playing an Irish character or an English actor, you don't hear about the debate. But amongst ourselves, we want to point fingers because we come from a conditioning that makes people just make sure, where are you from and are you authentic from where you're from?
How Black are you, which is crazy.
How Black are you? You know, it comes down to the caste system. And it's annoying to me, really annoying.
He said it's annoying.
You know what I
the
noticed?
caste system. So Black Americans wanting Black Americans to play in their films, particularly the iconic roles, the movies about actual figures, not just, you know, these fictional characters in a regular show. They're ignorant. They're just saying something stupid. But you're willing to fight. You're willing to be in alignment with the white people who tell you ain't you ain't James Bond. Even that's a fictional character. It's not real. It's not based off of anybody real. It's really based off of just being British. And if you're a person from Britain, you should be able to play that character, right? Adam says Lorenz Tate also spoke on this. They cheat, and we have to let their projects fail, including the ones by Ryan Coogler. Now, see, how you throw Ryan in this? And you're right. Lorenz Tate did talk about it. Lorenz Tate also told a story where he was saying how how a lot of the executives, when he was doing in the 90s or whatever, they was kept telling him that Black Americans don't sell internationally. They don't sell internationally. That's why they have lower budgets. Their movies don't do as well. And he was like, I took a trip to places in Europe where I would go and shoot films, and it would be people walking up to me saying the lines from the movies I played in, like Dead Presidents. So I'm in Sweden, I'm in Spain, and some man is walking up to me telling me the line of one of my movies, but they telling me I'm not international. And like Honorable said, a lot of the actors from the UK are considered cheaper, easier to deal with, And that's where we're going to get to this next person. Crazy says we all black. Yeah, okay. This next person that's men of his era, he was as famous as you can be. He was the most famous man on the planet, probably. He was an actor. He played in the NFL. He was a singer. He sang whatchamacallit. He did everything. He spoke like 10 languages or something. He was an extremely talented black man. Then he got put into the Red Scare, the McCarthy smear situation. He was blackballed from everywhere pretty much. And he was a lawyer, by the way. Let's not forget that. He went to law school, he became a lawyer. But he was blackballed from everything, ended up, in a bad situation. But one of the I'm bringing him up because in the discussion about Black Hollywood, as you would call it, or black entertainment industry, is a lot of the UK actors say, we come to America for opportunity because that's the place you go for opportunity. America is the biggest industry. You want to get in the biggest screen, make the most money. That's why we come to America. But it was Paul Robeson who went to the UK in 1930s and 40s and filmed 7 movies. Paul Robeson, a black American man. Keep in mind, it wasn't considered normal for quote unquote black British people to be in UK films until 1950s. So Paul Robeson, not alone, it was some UK people too, but a black American helped establish these so-called melanated British people to have a chance in the television industry over there. So not only did we build our own over here, we also helped build the foundation for your industry over there. And while ours built up to what we consider to be the prime being the 90s, we built somewhat of a real industry for ourselves. Instead of y'all building y'all's up, you said, F that. We're gonna go do it. We're gonna do it with them over there. We're gonna join theirs. Anonymous said the international narrative was a lie that's been proven false repeatedly. How many groups outside of America grew up watching Fresh Prince? Exactly. How they got that lie off is crazy. Anonymous says, so that is a Caribbean man. No, that is a black American man. Virginia said, I watched a video about the secret societies once. All white people lit that. Then in one clip was a black man shaking hands at a graduation ceremony. It was Paul Robeson. Otherwise, that video was all white. Yes, he was a very talented man, and he was a groundbreaking person. His first big film, because obviously in America they have people playing characters like Stephen Fetchit and Ancient Mom and all that stuff. So he had to play in some of those type of movies. He didn't play those type of characters, but he had to play in some of those type of movies. He didn't like it. He was able to get his real first prominent role, serious role in the UK. A very popular film at the time. It was the most popular film at the time when he did it. It was groundbreaking. I think in the movie he had a white love interest, so you already know what that's about. This was like 1935 to 1940, something like that. So I'm bringing it up because of this. Hold up. I want to show this right here. So I know y'all probably have seen this. This is from the One Africa 154 podcast with I forgot his name, Godfrey and his homie. They Nigerians. They interviewed the Daniel, I can't say his last name, the dude who played Martin Luther King. He's a Nigerian dude who played Martin Luther King in Selma. They did an interview with him, and he had some stuff to say about the Drewski skit that kind of poked at the British actors taking the Black American roles. Let me show you what he had to say.
I'm a product of a Yoruba man and an Igbo woman coming together, and they didn't bring me up with all of that trauma and dysfunction and hatred. They brought me up in love. And
so your culture, Black America, is trauma. His is love. He said this in an interview years ago where he said that the reason why he can play those characters like Martin Luther King and then this is Tuskegee Airmen is because he doesn't have the baggage and the trauma, so he's able to play the role at a pure form.
And this narrative around.
I'm gonna say no children. Was he LGBT? No, he's had one child. Paul Robeson had one son, one child, and he was married to a woman. They did get divorced later on. Although another funny thing about Paul Robeson, him and his wife were very public with their what we consider now open relationship. So, yeah, Paul Robeson was in an open relationship, and he does have one son. He had one child.
And the silos that we inhabit as Black people, these Black British actors coming to take our roles, these, how African Americans feel like that. In the UK, a lot of the kids who bullied me were West Indian kids. So there was.
So the Africans were bullied by the West Indians in the UK, and the Americans over here, the Black Americans over here. I don't say hate this man.
West Indian, West African thing. And everything, in my opinion, that has kept Black people back from the ascent that we are worthy of has been this. Hutus, Tutsis, Igbos, Yorubas, Rwanda, Black Brits, African Americans.
You're comparing literal genocides to a Black American saying, hey man, we want somebody who represent our culture to play the leaders of our culture. You're comparing Hutu Tutsi to Black Americans creating a cultural boundary. That is crazy.
Like ultimately for me, we all want the same thing. Period. We all want to be front and center of our own lives, afforded the opportunity to scale and not fail.
And that is the distinction. They come to America to get on the silver screen. They want to be in the biggest movies. They want to make the most money. They don't want to make art that's relative to Black American life and culture. That's why you look at 90s films, early 2000s films versus now. It's so different because it's for a different audience. Back in the day, people made movies that directed to the Black community. Now they make movies about the Black community. Right? What they think, how they think people talk, or what they think about certain things and stuff like that. That's why everything comes off as a caricature.
Ooh, right on. And if we link arms like Jewish people do, like Chinese people do.
Jewish people, I saw somebody saying there's a whole saying amongst Jewish people where if you got two Jewish people in a room, there's 3 opinions. They don't get along either. Ask a Korean what they think about people from Thailand. Ask a Japanese what they think about a person from China. They have a whole thing going on where they have these quote unquote diaspora, Asian diaspora wars. Ask a South Korean if they consider an Indian Asian. Or anybody that's browner, anybody that's too brown. Virginia says the lack of humbleness amongst the aliens, aka immigrants, is astounding. Extremely arrogant. Alma says, is it me or have these volunteer global immigrants hijacked the term diaspora to include their narrative? How are Black Americans and Caribbeans represented by 154? Exactly.
Yeah. Like if we do that rather than fixating on the fact that, yeah, we have a smaller piece of the pie. We do.
As I said earlier, you began to establish a industry for Jamaican and African immigrants in the UK in the 50s. Paul Robeson was in movies in the 30s and 40s over there. As I'm sure some Jamaicans, obviously some Jamaicans and some Africans were too. But it was Black Americans and African and Caribbean immigrants that began to help build an industry in the UK for so-called Black people. Why didn't y'all continue building that? Instead, y'all abandoned it and just came to America and jumped on the train. Virginia says, yep. Not nary one human gets along, even those of the same skin tone. Adama says, now Nigerian doesn't mention Fulani wiping out their Nigerian groups, but instead mention violence done by the other groups. That's a good point. That is a great point. He didn't mention the Fulani herdsmen. He didn't mention what's going on in northern Nigeria right now with a genocide where they got videos they're posting online of them killing, beheading people, raping women, doing crazy wild. He mentioned stuff that happened 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and he mentioned a quote-unquote online disagreement. He didn't mention what's going on in his own country, but anyway.
And as a result, when a Black Brit gets that role, what we're talking about is not acting. We're not talking about the art of acting. We're talking about scarcity. We're talking about the fact that there's not much pie. So when someone gets it, it's like, you're now taking a piece that makes me feel like I can't access that piece.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that with white British actors.
That is a lie. That is not true. There's interviews of white Americans literally saying all the damn acting positions are going to Australians and British people. They say it all the time. There's somebody did an interview, a white person, I can't remember who it was, where they literally said, if you want an easier time getting a job in Hollywood, because I think they were talking about how do you get started as an actor? How do you make it? It was a white actor. I can't remember who it was. And they literally started off with a joke. They said, have a British accent. He literally said that.
In the Hollywood constellation, because the pie is vast.
So do you think like when Juski goes out there and he does that whole skit that's gone viral? It's funny.
Yeah.
Where he's the British guy, he goes out there. And does that kind of add fuel to the fire? Because I mean, it's a thing. You're starting to hear more and more.
Hey, you ain't think that skit was funny either. I saw you. You ain't think that skit was funny. You had to say it's funny because it was a joke. You ain't think it was funny.
Of it. Yeah. And it's why we started 154. Yeah. It's to bring all of us. There's one continent, 54 countries, but really it's bigger. It's one diaspora that's centered around who we are as people.
So as Honorable said, not only did you call it your podcast 154 to represent Africa, you made it green and black. What you're trying to use, you're centering Nigeria because both of y'all are Nigerian. So what you're trying to do with your podcast is make the center of the quote unquote black diaspora, because they don't, in this video, by the way, they only refer to one group as African. They call black Americans African American, but they call everybody else black Brits, Afro Brazilians, black Caribbeans. They don't refer to anybody else as African except black Americans. They call you African American, but they're black British. It's crazy. Honorable says if only Caribbeans and Africans supported this his films, they would all be blockbusters, literally like the Bob Marley story. Yeah, whatever happened to that? I saw them talking about it. The Jamaican was saying they want to make sure that the actual Jamaican plays them. They end up choosing a British dude. And I ain't heard nothing about it since.
But yet there's these micro fractures of, but they're from the UK or they're from, they're immigrants from Africa.
Yeah. My thing is, I have adopted the stance of I have to let my work do the talking. There's many things.
So I ain't gonna play the rest of it. He basically went on the whole thing about how in the recruitment for the movie Selma, he's the one who fought for Ava DuVernay to be the director, and then Oprah fought for the movie to be made. Basically saying, I fought for this movie to be made so that I can play Martin Luther King Jr. That's literally pretty much what he said, and how he's starting a production company with Nate Parker. And boy, I ain't heard that name. I ain't heard Nate Parker name in years. He made that movie Birth of a Nation about Nat Turner. They threw out that allegation or that case on him that he had a rape situation, and his career was finished. It was over. But now he's doing a production company with him. And by the way, I found out he has a production company called Yoruba Saxon, like Nigerian Yoruba and Anglo-Saxon because his wife is white. Kind of crazy.
Things in the world that I don't like, that I don't agree with, but my answer to that,
to the Juski
thing, is to start a streaming platform with an African American like Nate Parker, and for us to build something from a global perspective that is for African Americans, is for Afro South Americans, it's for black people in the diaspora, it's for
everybody else is black. Your ass is African.
People on the continent, it's for all of us.
So it's obvious their intent was to attempt to use what they think they gain in being in these American films, use what they got to try and make the center of the so-called black movie industry, Nigeria. He says it during some point in the interview where he says Nigeria has so many resources. If we just went there where we are appreciated, So obviously they're trying to center their group. They're trying to de-center, because they deem black Americans as the center of black culture when all we ever did was try to just center of our own. They're trying to de-center black America and make the continent, particularly Nigeria or Ghana, the true center of what they deem to be black global culture, monoculture. All right, let me play this last one right here.
If you take the Nigerian accent.
This is him saying that so they already said that the food we eat is inspired by them, right? They told us that. They told us that the language we speak, Ebonics, that's just like pidgin. That's just like patois. That's that's just like what you do in Africa. They told us the way we dance, the music we made is all inspired by them. Now they're telling us even the slave accent, even the slave, and they're calling it a slave accent, which is crazy. They saying the slave accent is from Africa too.
If you take the Nigerian accent like this, and you slow it down, you put a lot of slavery in there.
Facts.
And then you start to put a little bit of subservience in it.
So this is diabolical. The man said if you start talking like a Nigerian and you introduce slavery and subservience, that is how you get the Black American accent. It's crazy. And I feel like maybe they don't even know. I don't even know if they were truly malicious in what he's saying right now. They don't even know the disrespectful shit he just said. Adding subservience to the Nigerian accent is how you get the slave accent is crazy. Honorable said, I don't like the African American talking point. This term was claimed by free blacks long before that he started showing up here. We are African American, Black American, and freemen. I don't disagree. I'm just pointing out they only refer to you as African. That's it. Everybody else is black. They have completely taken on the social construct of America by referring to everyone as black. Except you. Adama says, people in the continent need toilets, not films.
This is what starts to happen to the Nigerian accent.
Man.
It goes, because literally, if you're down here and you start to speed it up, and then you start to take all the thing out of it, then before you know it, you're talking like this.
Now we are free again.
Now we are free.
So when you talk like that, you're a slave. When you talk like a Nigerian, you free. You're released. This is racist as hell. But this is bullshit too. It's been understood for a long time by anybody who does any type of linguistics, who watch videos, read books, anything, that it is well documented that the British or UK accent, particularly British, they automatically, when they slow their speech, sound like Southern people in general. It's not a race thing. Southern America have a slower British dialect. That's how they speak. Same thing Australia. Go watch a video of an Australian and tell them to just talk slower. And they'll sound like a Southern person from Texas. That's the point. It has nothing to do with Nigeria.
We are released.
Hey, that was a smooth transition.
You see that?
Damn.
You have to study it. You have to study it.
Oh, you usually
No. I
do a Southern accent?
No, the way he just did that whole thing. Go ahead.
Clear your throat. You know when you.
No. I gotta stay in my lane on that one.
Okay. A black dude from L.A.
Easy now.
Oh, yes.
Easy now.
Yes.
Easy now.
A black dude. Are you from LA?
Say cuz.
Born and raised in L.A.
So I have to.
Crenshaw.
So I've got to be like you? What does that mean?
Well, I don't represent.
Definitely don't want
I speak too proper, so.
I don't know. That's too loose.
Cuz, you gotta be like cuz.
Cuz?
Hold on.
And get in the car, cuz. Get in the car, cuz.
Tripping though, man.
Put the car, man. I was in the car.
And we don't over.
Now, will this be considered mocking? But then when people comment on the stuff that happens on this podcast, they act like you're just overreacting. It's just jokes. Now, earlier I talked about Paul Robeson and his influence and others, obviously, in the film industry when it came to so-called black people gaining position over there in the 30s and 40s, and became a lot more normalized in the 50s because of this person here, Errol Cameron. So they're saying that black Americans are being weird for calling for certain roles to be made sure to be given to black Americans. When somebody on Twitter or X found this little nugget here, I thought it was hilarious. It says British actor Errol Cameron did not primarily direct his frustration at Sidney Poitier, because Sidney Poitier was considered an American actor even though he was Bohemian. Individually, rather, he lobbied the UK Actors Union to stop British studios from hiring African-American actors for London-based roles that should have gone to him and his black British peers. This is in 1964. So in the 60s, while black Americans are in America doing the civil rights thing, the black power thing, all that stuff, one of the leading actors in the UK was going to the government of the UK and telling them to stop bringing in African-American actors. But when you do it today in 2026, you're not even telling them to stop bringing these people in. You're saying, hey, when it comes to certain prominent roles, historical figures, can we please make sure that this is properly done with an actual person who is a part of the culture? They were doing even worse then. So they've been on this type of timing forever. That's why I say they gave up on building their industry over there and just decided to just come to America. Fuck it. It's already built. We can come over there and get and be able to sit at the table that they built. And I want to show what this is what I was talking about earlier. You search something on Google in the AI mode, and the AI just give you answers. But this is what I was talking about right here. How they said earlier in the build up of the quote unquote black British entertainment over there, that it was a lot of black Americans as well as obviously Africans and Caribbeans to help build that up. So not only we help you start your foundation, we also built our own. So we think there'll be a little bit more respect, but instead they went to the whole government. It said, stop working with them. Stop giving them our jobs. Stop giving them our jobs. But they mock you when you say something similar. Virginia says, never heard of him, even although his second name is my son's first name. But you're often reminded nothing new under the sun, just recycled. Exactly. I'm not even surprised. It's just these people have a history of doing stuff that they don't even keep up with their own history. And before we leave, I want to just show the headline. I'm not going to go into the story. I just want to show the headline. Former Essence CEO Caroline Wenger sues over fallout from Essence Fest controversy. I read this and I was dying laughing. So after black Americans got on her ass for all that time because they said she was part of the reason why Essence Fest was trash, it was destroyed and yada yada yada. And then later on it came out that she wasn't even the CEO no more. She was out on sick. She was sick or injured or whatever. And then she finally stepped down, and people thought it was because of how bad the Essence Fest went. He's now suing Essence Fest and what's it called, Sundown Media for defamation, pretty much. Saying that my name has been destroyed. You guys didn't properly come out and tell people that I was not the CEO. Saying you ain't come out publicly and let people know that it wasn't me. You allow my name to be drugged for years. She's suing them. So congratulations to her, I guess. Get your face back, lady. They definitely was we was definitely a part of it, kicking your back in. Sorry. We were a part of it too, I guess. But anyway, I think that's all I got this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, the conversation we had. Really, really enjoyed it. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to the family of Cyrus. Shout out to all the stories we talked about with the, y'all want to do the boycott or the blackout, as Regina said. You shouldn't need harm to come to your community to support your own businesses. That's all I'm saying. We could do it without them doing something to us, love, peace, and happiness. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate the support. Hopefully you enjoy the show as always. Be sure to like it on your way out. Subscribe if you're not. Share it if you can. Gene says, thanks for the show, Duke. Very helpful doing sorting through these crazy times. Piece of chat. It's definitely crazy times. Crazy fast times, by the way. But anyway, thank y'all. As always, y'all be safe. All praise to the Most High. And peace, man.